For the second week in a row, we go racing on a Tuesday night on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and its broadcast. Welcome to the 10th and final round of the Lobezy Racing Up and Comers series on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Night 2 of week 10 in term 4 of 2023. And welcome from one famed 6-kilometre piece of motor racing real estate last night to another, to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, to the famed Road America circuit, where the final 3 races of the up-and-comers season will play out. 3 30-minute affairs for you. 3 different servers. Nearly 3 hours of coverage coming away here throughout the course of the evening. A little bit tight for time of the top tonight as the cars will be lining up on the grid in just a moment. But there it is for you. 6.5 kilometres, 21 degrees. The track temp at the moment, 19 the ambient. On the famed May 15, 2023 date that iRacing is synonymous with in the Northern Hemisphere. And a 54% humidity. No rain in sight. Surprise, surprise. That is iRacing after all. Now, how tonight plays out for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 hits of qualifying. We have 3 hits of 30-minute races for you as well. So, first up, the Mazda MX-5 will lead us away. We'll then switch servers and jump into the Toyota 86, the Gazoo Racing 86. And then we'll swap servers one third and final time and get into FIA Formula 4 for you as well. And hasn't that been making headlines today, just quietly? Good evening, everybody. I'm Zach Caban. Adam Lavis is here with us as well. The Monday night team on overtime this week, doing a Tuesday night for you before Daniel Correa, Sarah and Aidan Schultz pick up the baton tomorrow night for the grand finale of the Downforce Legends, and also, of course, GT4. And then on Thursday night, I'm back with Daniel Correa for the finale of Formula V, which I'm very excited about, and Porsches, which I'm equally as excited about. It's fair to say it is Phillip Island after all. There's the lay of the land as far as the up-and-comers are concerned. This is the 10th and final round. 718 points so far for Adam Tice, who will be the one to watch when we get into the 86 a little bit later on. He won that portion of the season on points. 689 for Phil Butler and 645 for Phil King, and 645 for Phil Butler. 596 for Aidan Schultz and 579 for Tristan Koch. Adam Johnson in 6th place on 569 points, and Jason Tierman on 504 points. There are 180 up for grabs tonight, so the top 6 are in contention. Everybody else is just there making up the pieces of the puzzle at the moment, making up the field, making up the numbers. But, of course, bragging rights are still on the line tonight. Everybody wants to win at Road America. And we've only got 12 cars out on the grid here. But it is the Mazda MX-5s, and it is slipstream heaven. It is Road America. I think we'll be in for some really good racing. Phil King has pipped Aidan Schultz for pole position. You've got Dean Logsdale on screen there at the moment. And Adam, you've been probably across this one a little bit more than me throughout the course of the season. Something a little bit different for the grand finale. They've had 3 hit-outs in each of the 3 cars, and now they get a chance to go and have a hit in all 3 in one night. And that switcheroo, hopping between one and the other and quickly adapting to it, that's going to be the real key to the success and the real element of the challenge here tonight.
Yes, the big difference with the final. So during the season, they have 9 rounds where each round they just they still do 3 races, but each race sort of progressively gets longer over the course of the night. But they're in the same car for the whole night, so they get 3 chances in the car. Tonight, being a little bit being the final, they're going to take everything they've learnt from the previous 9 rounds and try and put it on track in one night to maximise their chance at championship glory. So, should be a good night. And as we see, as we can see on the championship points there, no one has the lead in any one car. So, everyone's got a different thing. And we're already off and racing. Look out!
Set to go away on grand final night on the Lobezy Racing up-and-comers from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Nice start, Phil King. Aidan Schultz up there on the inside has been swamped by Adam Johnson. A great start from Johnson, up 2 spots from 4th to 2nd and charging hard as they run down towards turn 1. King will lead them to the first corner. Johnson tucks into 2nd spot around the outside. Oh, a little bit of a squirrely moment at the back. Greg Padgett's in the dirt. Great to see Greg back on the circuit. That's not the way he would have wanted to start the night. Phil King leads them onto the back straight. Aidan Schultz slots into 3rd place. Padgett is parked up at 1. Phil Butler back to 4th. Tristan Koch and Adam Tice in there, 5 and 6. Then Phillip Howe, Jason Tierman, Dean Logsdale, Matthew George and Robert Colbreth. We didn't get a chance to properly run through the grid there for you, but there's only 12 of them. We'll fill the pieces of the puzzle for you a little bit later on. Johnson to the inside and to the lead at the end of the back straight. And then up on the inside of Phil King, here comes Schultze. King moves across to cover that off and tries to get Johnson back on the inside up to turn 6 and does so. Johnson hung out to dry, too far. Looks to fight back on the inside, but King will do his best to cover him off through 7, and Schultz wants a piece of this as well. Early stages, Mazdas, we're not going to be disappointed here. Heading for about 12 laps, there may be a splash and dash here, I'm not sure. Whoa, Phil King's gone! It's always trouble when you're spinning, pirouetting this early in the piece. And that might not look like a big loss, but it is. It's an enormous chunk of time that he's lost there. 3.5 seconds to the leader, Adam Johnson, who now has Aiden Schultz ranging up on his inside, and Philip Butler behind him as well, trying to push him through.
Any important
part? Opening lap. Have a look at it. Johnson, wide and gone! Johnson's in the wall! He's taken Tristan Koch for the ride with him! Koch got away with it! Johnson in the wall! Gets it back on the... Does he get it back on the black stuff? He's not. He's taking his time getting it back on the track. He might be taking that one to pit lane. Drama in the opening lap for Adam Johnson. Forget about it. That was an enormous hit.
Yeah, it's broken.
And 6th place in the championship will stay just that, I think.
I was going to say with Kingy running wide there, the biggest thing with that is that's putting him back behind Ticey, who with all that other shenanigans has got himself up in the 3rd now. So this is looking great for Ticey.
It's looking fantastic for Ticey. Phil King's dropped back to 5th place. Problem with that is we went from having one big freight train to having a battle in 2 at the front. Phil Butler and Aiden Schultz side by side. Butler down the inside. Schultz the fastest lap of the race.
And they're actually teammates, these two at front.
Doesn't look like it, does it? No, looks can be deceptive. Down the inside, Butler will lead Schultz through for the moment. Schultz pushed Butler along last week, if memory serves, in Imola, and helped him out there. Tonight, they're happy to run side by side in the early stages. Across the back stretch for the 2nd time. And if they squabble too much, they'll invite Ticey back into it. Philip Howe's still in the slipstreaming range. Phil King about to latch back onto that. And no harm, no foul. See, that was the thing. If the incident for Johnson over the back didn't happen, and he and Robert Colbreth are in pit lane just now, just quietly, Greg Padgett has continued on, despite his mistake on the opening lap. Big send down the inside from Adam Tice. Adam Tice moves up in a 2nd spot. Nicely done. Philip Howe coming up on the inside of Philip Butler. Nope, not yet. I was really worried for Phil King when he made that mistake here last lap around. I thought that was going to be curtains for him in terms of making a rod for his own back really early in the piece. He lost 3.5 seconds, which in these cars, once everybody's working together and so evenly matched on pace, is an enormous amount to try and claw back. We've seen it happen so many times before. But thankfully, by way of incident for both Adam Johnson and also, of course, he took Tristan Koch into the wall with him. That has somewhat allowed the field to join back up again. The exception being Aiden Schultz, who has taken off to lead this thing by 1.1 so far. Great to have Tony Baker tuning in, and well done last night, my friend. Down the inside, here comes Adam Tice and Phil Butler. Phil Butler to the inside of Tice. Tice hung out wide. And Butler trying to claw it back. But Tice will use the momentum around the outside to put himself on the inside for turn 13 and hold sway for the moment. And Philip Howell pounces on that as well. Gets on the inside. So too does Philip King. Butler's been swamped. And around the outside there is Tristan Koch wanting a piece of it too. Not able to get by just yet. Back to the main straight. One more lap done. Aiden Schultz the leader. And the rest of them wondering if they can catch him, because that's the call cry that's gone out. Schultz said, catch me if you can, boys. And he's taken off. Tice sitting there in 2nd spot at the moment, 2:35.668. The fastest lap that time around actually belonged to Tristan Koch at 2:35.056. How good. Oh, not much between them, almost a touch on the inside. Just getting reports through that Greg Padgett had a VR failure on the opening lap. Amazed that he went out in an isolated single vehicle incident, all things considered. Graham Stewart never misses an opportunity, does he, Adam? Have a look at that. 3 wide. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. The elbows are out. It's Butler. It's Howe. It's King. Blasted the heavy breakers to turn 4 and 5. It's King around the outside. A big send. And Kosh up on the outside of Howe as well. Schultz and Tice have taken off. 1.34 back to Phil King. Butler and Kosh. Butler holding off Kosh at the moment. Then you go back to Howe. Butler down on the inside of King. Butler on the inside of King. Have a look at this. No holds barred here in the early stages. Can't get that done. 2:35.056 for Tristan Kosh last time around. If he can find clear traffic, Schultz might need to get a wriggle on. Because Kosh was 0.6 of a second quicker that time around than Schultz. Everybody approaching turn 11 and 12 with a degree of moderation there. Based on what we saw on lap 1, everyone's gone through there a little bit more leniently. Second and third time through. We're on lap 3. It's a long way around at Road America. It's only a 30-minute race. We then get into the 86s. We then get into the Formula 4s. A big night ahead of us here. Schultz in the leader by 4 seconds at the moment. Tice being reeled back in by King. Butler Kosh coming along for the ride. Then Howe and Tierman. So you got a 6-car battle train. Freight train, nose to tail. In the battle for second at the moment. Up onto the main straight. Into the lane comes Phil Butler. He goes in with Jason Timon as well. So there will be splash and dash requirements in this race. How good. Good evening to everybody that's tuning in on socials and joining us. Schultz just punches out a 2:33.7, so that's the statement sent, the message sent to Adam Tice. The onus is now on Tice to try and peg that back and reel that in. So too Tristan Kosh, not going to happen with Schultz taking off into the sunset here. Great that we've been able to facilitate a broadcast in grand final week. Great that you guys are going to join us for the night. Not the biggest field you've ever seen, but hopefully some entertaining racing coming your way. Based on what we've seen thus far, I don't think we'll be disappointed tonight. Butler, Timon, George, all on pit road at the moment. King up on the outside of Tice going to second now on the run down to turn 5. Now, Jason Timon was stationary for 22.6 seconds. Butler 16.8 and Johnson 11.6, but Johnson, of course, came in on lap 1. So a big fuel stop here for those guys, but a big discrepancy between Butler's stop time and Tierman's. Logsdale's got back out there after being in pit lane for 35 seconds and 23 seconds for Robert Colbreth on the opening lap as well. King down the inside. Up on the outside is Kosh. Kosh nearly got muscled out of that. Tucked back in. Got to be mindful of Philip Howe as well. And now we'll go around the grounds tonight as well, ladies and gentlemen, and happy to be able to do so for you. First of the semi-finals, the WBBL from the Wacker in Perth. And it's the Sydney Thunder up against the Brisbane Heat. And the Heat were sent into bat by the Thunder, and they are none for 6 in the second over. Have a look at this now. Now it's getting nasty out there. Have a look at them. Feisty. Spicy. Tice has broken clear of the train, but now he's been pegged back in by Kosh, King and Howe. So it just goes to show you how difficult it is to leave this train behind. Aidan Schultz has made it look consummately easily, ladies and gentlemen, because he's broken clear to the tune of 6.8 seconds. Up onto the main straight. Philip Howe coming to pit lane. Oh, a little bit of gamesmanship there with Tristan Kosh. 2 more on pit road. Tice being passed here by King on the inside. King down the inside. King going to second. Not on corrected order just yet. We'll wait and see what the the pit stop requirements for these guys are like and what the transit times look like as well before we start hedging our bets on who's done what, where and why and how. But Aiden Schultz, the race leader at the moment, these two squabbling for second on track at the moment. And half the field, more than half the field, 2/3 of the field has now been along pit road and cleansed. We are, believe it or not, 11 and a quarter minutes into this race. And so far, so good. Adam Lavis, relatively clean.
Yeah, very clean and some good action. The guys are doing some nice close door-to-door racing here and making it a good night for everyone to spectate and watch. Whilst there's also this battle here is really for the championship. These are the top two currently in the championship.
We'll see some good door-to-door racing here in the second race in the 86s as well, but I would advise against it in race 3 because that's a one-way train to going from a Formula 4 entry to a canoe.
Oh, King!
Oh no! Kingy's looped it. Poor old Tyce's had nowhere to go.
Same spot again. He did the same thing on lap 1.
He did. Yep. Twice, 3 times a charm. And now it'll be interesting to see what sort of damage Tyce sustained in all of that. But there goes our battle. There goes our battle. And he was trying to drift it through the corner. That was never going to work. And poor old Tyce.
So there was 2 parts there. He lost it on turn in. And Tyce was too focused on his own apex. He didn't notice it in front of him until it was too late.
Yep. So now the closest battle on the racetrack is this one. Philip Butler over the back of Adam Johnson. Tony Baker asking a legitimate question, Adam Lavis. Is damage on for these guys or off?
Of course it's on.
Good. I like it. As it should be. As it should be.
Usually, like when I was doing the servers last season, I'd turn the damage off for the practice so they could just settle themselves back down and keep going. But for the actual races, though, it's back to the real consequences.
So Johnson again. Down the inside. Ooh. Tyson King to pit lane. That is no surprise given their recent contact. Schultz continues to lead and is making it look very easy at the moment. Butler down the inside of Johnson. And job done. Butler gets by, and they've swamped King and Tyce as well, who are still on pit road. Greg Padgett also now on pit road. The field, except for Schultz, is cleansed at this point, but I don't think they're going to have to worry about Schultz just quietly. Too far out in front. Unless he gets done for pit lane speeding or something silly. King gets by Tyce. And Howe's back with them as well. So all of a sudden, Howe back down the inside of Tyce. Howe has swamped on Tyce. Hoping to go with King here. And needed to get by Tyce to make that happen. Make that a possibility. Down the back straight again. Schultz, Butler, Johnson, King, and Howe the top 5. Tyson, Timon the top 7 here. Kosh is 8. Tyce gets by Howe down the back straight. Side by side they go. King's got a little bit of breathing space for the moment. Timon's got the best seat in the house. He's got the best view of the lot here.
And keep in mind, strategy-wise, for all 3 of these races, because they're a fixed setup and the setup is saved with a fuel limit in the tank, so therefore the actual server limit is enough to get home. So although they start the race with not enough fuel to actually make it, so they do have to stop, they can choose to pit after lap 1 and put enough fuel in the tank to get home straight away. So if they feel like they're in a bit of a battle and think they can strategically go out on their own and just do the laps, they can choose to pit on lap 1 and get out of the traffic.
Good point. So similar to what we've had in
TCR.
Yeah.
We're going to TCR. So the only catch is you need to be on top of your fuel calculations because you need to know how much to put in off the bat before all your onboard calculators can really get a good number. You need to do your math yourself, basically.
Yep, and so the onus would have been on Adam Johnson in that case as he stopped on lap 1. So did Robert Colbreth to be across that before they got started. Down the run to Canada corner. Out of the carousel, through the kink and down to Canada we go. Howe looking down the inside of Tice, can't get it done. King's there at the front of the train, then Tice. Howe, Tierman and Kosh. So Kosh has found his way back onto the train as well. Down the main straight, Howe on the inside of Tice. Oh, you couldn't get any closer if you tried. They almost had the wheels rubbing together at turn 1. They do! They're gone! They're in the wall! Tice and Howe in the dirt. And Howe scrapes up against the concrete. Tice lucky to get away with it. His second incident in this race. Oh, boy. We can't say that was a commentator's curse because we only called it as it was brewing. Let's have a look at it again. Howe's parked up. Howe's on the tow rope. Howe's night is done. Won't factor in the results here. And Howe was ever gradually moving across, and there it was. Either didn't see Ticey there or didn't care. One or the other.
It's one of those things, you sometimes in those braking zones, you sort of just slightly lose your bearings, and it's easy to just do that little bit of a fade, and that's what can be the consequences, unfortunately.
Well, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Unlucky, especially for Adam Tice. He's now 11.1 seconds behind Tristan Kosh, who's down on the inside of Jason Tiemann now. On screen live. Oh boy. The more things divide and conquer and separate as far as the pack is concerned, the more interesting it gets at the moment. Hayden Schultz to pit lane and should come out with a rather easy, comfortable race lead here as we watch Tristan Kosh in 5th place. So there's really only 2 battles on the track now. One is Philip Butler and Adam Johnson, 2nd and 3rd. And then this one, 5th and 6th, with Tice and Howe done and dusted. And Howe parked up and out of business for the night. So he'll be jumping over into the next server, into the 86, and hoping for a far better run. So Kosh in 5th place at the moment. One of the 6 championship contenders coming into the night. Remembering that as we came into the round, we had 6 contenders, one of which was Philip Butler, Adam Johnson, Tristan Kosh, Adam Tice, Phil King, and I'm missing one, Adam Lavis. Who was the other one?
In what, sorry?
The 6 championship contenders coming into this round. So Tice, Kosh, Johnson, Butler, King, and there was one more.
Tice, King, Butler, Kosh, Johnson, Schultz.
Schultz. Oh, Schultz is still in calculation. Yes, of course. Of course. But he needs to win every race and hope for an absolute calamity for those behind him. So Johnson's already run into trouble, but he seems to have brought himself back into contention here. Tice has run into trouble. We've lost Howe and Logsdale out of this race. Colbreth continues on, but he's a lap down. Ticey's had his moment.
So during the piss-off phase here, these guys have actually closed the gap to Schultz. You've got a 3-way battle for the lead.
We do indeed. Well picked up, actually, Adam Lavis. I was too busy looking at the points matrix.
So Schultz's stop was 22 seconds. Butler's was 16. Johnson's was only 11. He's got the shortest stop of everybody. So he may be in trouble if he hasn't done his calcs right. Because most of them are done about a 16 to 17 second stop. 16 to 22.
Yep.
16 to Mustang.
And I don't think it's possible to save that much fuel around here.
Well, either that, or he's done the math right, and everyone else has just put too much in.
True.
Tyres.
We're going to find out, and we're going to find out across the space of the next 3-4 laps. 2:33.7 for Aidan Schultz, the fastest lap of the race thus far. We're coming back to end lap 8. We're doing a little bit of overtime here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'll get back to Trent Lavis's comments in just a moment. A safety license point penalty for Phillip Howe for racing room on Adam Tice on lap 7. Can't say I'm overly surprised by that one. Have a look at Schultz hanging to the inside. Butler to the outside. Johnson tucks in. Johnson comes across to get the toe from Schultzy. That's to the disadvantage of Butler across the start-finish line. Lap 8 is done. We're on to lap 9.
A little bit of team tactics here. As soon as that happens, Schultz will move back across to get his teammate the slipstream.
Now, whoa. Not much between them.
Where's Schultzy
at turn 1, and Schultzy's had a blinky bill moment and come through on the other side with a bigger lead than what he had going into the quarter.
Teleported 3 car lengths up the road.
What the hell was that? Schultzy in the 2:33s. That's his best of the night. 2:33.7. 2:33.6 for Phil Butler. He's best of the night that time around. Adam Johnson, fastest lap of the race. 2:33.434. Now, Graham, I'm going to come back to your point as well. Trent Lavis, great to see him supporting the up-and-comers, and great to see the up-and-comers being broadcasted. Graham Stewart's got a legitimate question there regarding safety license point penalties. Wide goes Butler. Johnson squeezes up on the inside. And in the commentary box, I didn't think this was going to be the case tonight, but we didn't get a chance to catch up with him last night. He'd exited. Elvis had left the building before we'd got to him last night, ladies and gentlemen, from the GT3 AM category. It's Greg Heaney. Hello, mate.
How you going, Zach? Sorry I couldn't hang around last night, early starts and all that stuff.
No. All good, mate. We appreciate you coming on back. Are you having a run with these blokes tonight, or are you just here to have a chinwagon of you?
A little bit of chinwagon of you. I just survived 40 minutes around Nords in the GT3, so I thought I'd have a break for 10 minutes.
Very nice. Hey, talk to me, because when we have a look at the results from last night in the GT3M, not necessarily the way you would have liked to have finished the season, but that's Mount Panorama. Sometimes she's a cruel beast.
Yes, very true. No, unfortunately, last night still qualified 4th, so I was happy with that. Was running in the top 3 for the first stint, and then got a little bit overzealous after the first pit stop coming across McPhillamy Park, and a little bit too much curb on one side, a little bit too much curb and grass on the other side, and you kind of know where that ends up.
Yep. And unfortunately, it looks like it may have cost you 3rd in the championship, mate. I mean, you finished 14 points behind Dale Sharp and only 4 behind Bradley Curtin as a result of 13th last night. And as soon as you run into trouble at Mount Panorama, it's an uphill run for the rest of the night, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. Just like I saw Adam Johnson have a bit of an off there in the last corner. He's going to have a little bit of chase down of Phil Butler now. But, I knew in my head that going into last night's race that all I had to do was beat Sharpie.
Yep.
I had to stay at least 2 places ahead of him, looking at least that's how I'd figured it out. 2 places ahead, and I probably would have had him. But, unfortunately, it was not to be. But, onwards and upwards, and see where we go from next year, or next season even.
Indeed. And what are your thoughts on, I mean, obviously you've just highlighted the point that you're a niche GT3 runner. You love your GT3 racing, 40 minutes around the Nord on what's that, 5 laps, 6 laps if you're lucky, around the
5.
Nord?
Yeah,
5, yeah. That's the full Nord with the Grand Prix circuit combined. Yeah. Wow.
And Braden O'Loughlin was in there as well.
Yep. And of course, he's been a regular in our GT3 championship too. So I guess that begs the question: what next for you guys? Do you have a run in the GT3 Enduro at Lasarth in a couple of weeks' time as part of our championship on a Sunday? Do you put the sim rig away for a few weeks over summer? What's the plan of attack for the next 8 weeks?
Well, for the Circuit de la Sarthe, I mean, it's going to depend on what date it is. I do have a couple of appointments coming up. This
You'll be
weekend,
both,
this weekend, I'm probably not going to remember terribly much, but we'll figure that out come Monday morning. Yeah, no, it's, there'll be some laps here and there, definitely. Doing tonight's race just to get the payment off iRacing, because you can get paid to race. And I mean, it's only a little bit, but it still helps. So getting that chalked up. Yeah, no, definitely looking forward to testing out the new Audi for the GT3s. And if that's the case, I've got to work out some paintwork for that one, and hopefully getting Ryan Mulder into the team as well. So I've got to do a skin for him, and I've got to do one for Freddie. If he's going to run the Ferrari again, that's fine. I won't really need to do much, maybe a few tweaks here or there. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, we'll definitely be turning some laps between now and the start of next season.
Indeed. And when we get to next season, how do you go about selecting the car of choice, the weapon of choice? Here comes Adam Johnson. That answers Adam Levis's point. Adam Johnson did not have enough juice in the tank to get himself home, so that rubs him out of contention. And yet again, the championship picture changes somewhat here, with Aiden Schultz leading the way. Phil Butler second, margin 3.7. Phil King is a distant third. Tristan Koch is under pressure from Jason Time, that's the only battle on the track at the moment. Adam Tice is now going to find himself in either 6th or 7th position, depending upon when and where Adam Johnson rejoins the race. So, yeah, it's a tale of the tape tonight for Adam Johnson, a case of what might have been perhaps a chance gone begging.
I just saw in the background.
Adam Levis.
I just saw in the background as well. To add salt to the wound, Johnson's forgot to uncheck his tyre. So what was a splash gas is now a full pit stop.
Yep, and 17.37 seconds at that as well. So Adam Tice comes out in 6th place, and Johnson's going to be in position number 7. Oh boy. Yep. The sting in the tail. There's the first one of the night. So Greg, I mean, obviously there's a lot of love for the new Audi that's being dropped over summer by iRacing, or their winter. Do you look at that? Oh, there goes Robert Colbreth off the road as well. Best livery of the night, actually, just quietly. Best colour. Very nice. I like it. It'll look better on the racetrack, but we'll get there. He's got his 5 seconds of fame now. Tristan Koch is in 4th place, and Jason Tierman's now outside a second behind. So obviously we're looking forward to January. We'll be back on air after the Australian Open Tennis. Do you spend a bit of time sampling other products, because you were in the Ferrari this season? You've been in the Ford at some point as well. Do you look at the new Audi first and foremost, or what's the selection process? Is essentially what I'm trying to ask.
In a long-winded way.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll definitely be definitely looked at, the new Audi. I'm very interested to see how it handles. I know I did. I think it was season 2 for iRacing this year. They had the GT3s around Bathurst, and I did that with Ryan Mulder. He had an unfortunate incident with his internet dropping out, so he left me to do 2.5 hours of Bathurst on my own, or 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever it was. So that was fun, and that was in the Audi, so I certainly know how it handles. Still tossing up whether I go the McLaren. I have driven it before. Still like the car. Yes, it can do Porsche things to you. Well, just turn at any random moment and want to kill you. Good thing is it doesn't come in the rearview mirror, so you don't pay attention to who's behind you. No, definitely be trying the new Audi. Hell, I could even end up in a Lambo, but who knows yet? As far as I'm aware, I could be in the Pro Split next season.
Well, that's true. Exactly. And would that impact your selection furthermore or not?
I don't know yet. I'd have to see what times I'm doing comparable to other people around me. I know I put up a practice session, I think it was Saturday for last night's race, and Coxie dropped in and leisurely did a 2 dead, and I'm like, my God, that's fast.
I think what you've got to keep an eye out on what Denchi's doing.
Absolutely. At this point, Denchi's beyond my reach, but with
and everybody else,
I think he's beyond anybody's reach, as you keep calling him, the Dench mark.
That's it, exactly.
Oh, look, I'm sure somebody will catch him eventually. unlike Philip Butler trying to chase down Schultz here at the moment.
Exactly. Oh, and off the road is Philip Butler, actually. Off the road is Philip Butler. No.
You can blame that on
Same
me.
spot again, isn't it? Same spot again. He's done that 3 times now. Actually, Phil King's done it twice, and Phil Butler's now done it once. So it's the corner of Phil. Have a look at it. There we go. Exactly the same. Anything Phil King can do, I can do better.
It seems like Philip Howard got it right, though.
Yes, that's right. And at the front, this guy's got it right too. Aiden Schultz on his way home, ladies and gentlemen, out of Canada Corner for the last time for a win in the Mazda MX-5. Chalk up one of the triple treat at Road America. And it's had its moments, this race. It's a little bit of a lackluster conclusion. Adam Johnson's punched out the fastest lap of the race, but it's not the W. And that's what matters most on a night like this, when there are 6 championship contenders, and when you're 6th in the 6-horse race, you need to pull out all stops, and that's exactly what Aiden Schultz has done. Victory in the MX-5 in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Nice. 15 seconds in the end over Phil Butler after that late race skirmish. Phil King comes home for 3rd, ahead of Tristan Koch, Jason Tierman, and Adam Tice. Adam Johnson will be 7th, then Matthew George, Greg Padgett, and Robert Colbreth is 2 laps down. Philip Howell and Dean Logsdale non-finishers in all of that. Hey, Greg, nice of you to drop by on a Tuesday night, mate. We do appreciate that. Well done on the achievements of this season. We're looking forward to what you bring to the table in 2024, and good luck with your other racing exploits between now and then as well, mate. Thanks for that.
No worries, Zach. And I know everybody else said it to you last night, but thanks again for putting the AM split up on the stream, and for your efforts and Adam's efforts and everybody else's. So thank you again. One last thing before I jump off.
Yes, mate.
I know when we did the Jerez Sprint 1 race we were on, and I did watch it back, and I know you dropped some comments about the helmet that I run around in.
Yes.
So I got bored on the weekend and I did the race suit to match.
Yeah.
So you'll enjoy that if you get on my car again during a stream. You'll enjoy that.
We will definitely have to have a look at that, mate. Very nicely done. Maybe just a little bit too much time on your hands on that note, but no, I like attention to detail. I like the effort that you guys put into the presentation of what we do here, because that adds to it. There's no doubt about that. Thank you, mate. All the best for Christmas.
No worries. Cheers, boys.
I don't feel bad about saying all the best for Christmas now that we're inside a month from Christmas. Like I used to hate the idea of wishing people Merry Christmas at the end of October. But anyway, Aiden Schultz is here because whilst he's already parked up in pit lane, everybody's still on their way back to pit lane. So big was the victory margin, 14.84 seconds in the end there, Schultzy. But they didn't make life easy for you in the early stages, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. That was good. The old M1 traffic was a bit terrible this afternoon, so I didn't know whether I was going to make it. Bloody hell. I thought we lived in a progressive state, obviously not. Let's not get started on that one this early in the night, mate. Still a long way to go.
Beating me straight lines at 8:30. Yeah.
But no, it was a good race, man. Put way too much fuel in. Yeah, that's what brought me back to the field. But no, that was fun. Literally got here, I think 13 minutes left. I was actually in the committee, in a committee meeting while I was racing. So trying to do that at the same time, that was a bit interesting.
Trying to focus on the task at hand whilst trying to focus on the other tasks at hand. Yes, I could imagine. I wouldn't be able to do it, Schultzy. I don't know how you managed to. On that subject, actually, I've got the WBBL semi-final on right of screen at the moment. The eliminator from the Wacker. Heat 1 for 59 after 7 overs. On the subject of aggressive civilization, of course, at least on the West Coast, the time difference makes a lot more bloody sense. In saying that, mate, 6th in the 6-horse race here. You had to pretty much hit all your markers tonight, and that's box 1 ticked.
Yeah, mate. We'll see where we go. 86 isn't my best car. The F4 I seem to go all right in, but I don't know. We'll see how we go. The boys are good. That was great racing at the front early doors, so obviously stretched the legs there a little bit in the middle. This will be the last season I run in the up-and-comers, so yeah, it's good to just sort of have a good run. Good to see Phil get 2nd spot as well, my teammate. So he went 1-2, even though I couldn't speak to him because I was in the committee chat. It was good to see him get P2 and get some more solid points and hopefully take away a podium position in the championship. But still 2 long races to go.
And more than that, the reality of the situation is that, as I said on the call, you didn't exactly look like teammates out there. You're not decked out the same, but you are. And even more adding, to the challenge is the fact that you weren't able to communicate first time round. But I'm assuming you'll go and have a chat to him second time round.
Yeah, I'll go and congratulate him now, and when we finish up talking and go have a chin wag to him and all the boys, because we're all in the same, usually in dangerous yarns, having a chat. It's a really inclusive environment, so really good, and congratulate everyone. We're not running the same paint because there's not many leagues that really run a Mazda, to be honest.
True.
So
that's true.
You'll see us in the F4 in the same paint, and I'm not sure with the 86, to be honest. I think we might have a paint.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm over here.
All
There
right,
he
mate.
is.
Here he is.
Hello, Philber.
Howdy. Oh, I've had a cramp for the last 5 laps.
No.
Right.
Does that explain the off track on the final lap, Phil?
I wish I could say that was it. I think I just took too much corner and too much apex and not enough talent.
We'll blame young man syndrome on you, mate. Young man syndrome.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, Schultzy, that's your second political reference of the night with the use of the term inclusive. I like it. You're on fire here. Let's see if we can fill up your bingo card before mine gets filled up tonight. Now, let me continue with you, Schultzy. One last question. What are your thoughts on the 86? Because that's the next assignment.
Never been that good in it, to be honest. So don't expect what you just saw then. But yeah, don't know, mate. We'll go out. We'll have a trundle and see how we go. I don't want to, I missed a couple of rounds doing other stuff, and after I think I was leading the championship early, or Aiden Schwerkart was, and then he got promoted up. So missed a couple of rounds and lost a lot of points on the rest of them. So I'm literally just finishing it off to run with the boys. It's been great to run with them for 2 seasons. Yep. They're a great bunch of lads.
Yep.
And don't want to really ruin their championship. If I'm quick, I'll race to win. If not, I'll be there or thereabouts, no doubt.
All right. Well, I'll let you go and get ready for that, and I'll talk to your teammate in the meantime. We'll catch up with you after the Toyota race.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Have a good evening.
And thankfully, the M1 wasn't contributing to your downfall this evening. So first time for everything. And all Queenslanders know exactly what I'm talking about there. Phil, let's talk to you because you are actually in progressive civilization. That was a nice run. It came to you as the night went on. Moment for Adam Johnson on the opening lap, then the second splash and dash, and we'll get to Adam in a moment. And then, of course, Adam Tice ran into an issue by the name of Phil King. There were a couple of moments there throughout the course of the night that opened it up just nicely for you, mate.
Yeah, I was just kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, I was getting drafts, so I could fuel save and whatever have you. But when it came down to it, I was also losing time to Schultzy. So I thought, no, I'll pull in, get an early pit stop done, get some clean track. Came out behind Adam Johnson there, and gone, oh bugger! I thought I might have had some more clear air than that, but. Yeah, we had a nice little battle. We didn't battle too hard, which was good for us. And we were able to catch up to Schultzy. And then just as we kind of crossed the line it was the lap before we crossed the line kind of all together and we were swapping places. I got that leg cramp and it just caned me for the rest of the race. So, yeah, it was a good race. Totally enjoyed it.
And one question I have for you before I ask you about the next race, with regards to working with Schultzy but not being able to communicate with Schultzy. How was that in the early stages? Because there were no team orders, clearly, because you weren't talking to one another.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. Like, we don't race each other, like, being teammates, we race each other differently, I suppose, to how we race someone else. But also in saying that, we don't kind of like, well, I'm not there to bump people off. If that does happen, I normally feel like the worst person in the world and want to go and crawl into a corner and have a little bit of a sook. But if but with that, yeah, we just kind of I saw how it was going, and I got him on the straight, and he kind of got me straight away, and I've gone, okay, that's the sort of racing we're going to have today. So I'll just kind of follow along and see where it goes. And then I got balked a bit and fell about 3 spots, and decided that was the time to come into the pits.
Indeed, mate, and it was, and that worked for you in the end. A 9-lap second stint to get you home to the checkered flag. I mean, obviously, Schultzy by that point was gone, but now we turn our attention and our focus to the 86. We'll be lining up and getting into them very shortly. In fact, not too far away at all. You guys are already into qualifying, as we know. And we'll have pictures from the back end of that for you very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, once we're done here. How do you go about adjusting from the Mazda to the Toyota? Because that's one of the big challenges here tonight, mate.
Yeah, it's a similar car, I find. It does handle a little bit differently, but like it still needs its like rolling pace up, and you've got to kind of be precise and get your stuff right. And yeah, the Mazda and the Toyota very similar. The F4 just as chalk and cheese. You kind of really enjoy driving that after you've had to drive these two.
Yeah, exactly. All right, mate. We'll leave it there. We'll let you get set for the Toyota race, and we'll talk to you later in the evening.
Thank you. Cheers.
And Adam Johnson, very quickly to you. Lap 1, the kink. It always claims a victim. Tonight it was you.
Oh, that was just a shocking place to be. Like, I left the space with Aiden up the inside and then didn't lift on cold tyres, and it just didn't turn. And as soon as I started going wide, I'm like, this isn't ending well.
No. Here it is again on replay, actually. And you had Phil Butler pushing you along as well. It was a race in 3 at the front, and then all of a sudden, don't worry, Tristan Koch went with you in sympathy, but that was a fairly hefty scrape against the wall. And the only place for you to go after that was pit lane to hit the fast repair button. But you needed to take a little bit more juice than what you did, because you ended up coming to pit lane a second time. Was that fuel related?
Yeah, 100%. That was fuel. I underfilled it, and I had a sinking feeling by lap 2 or lap 3. Like, my race labs is saying time to empty minus 4 minutes. I'm like, that's really a bad place to be. So I got behind Phil Butler for a fair whack of that, trying to save fuel up the straights, but it wasn't saving 3 laps of fuel. No,
hell no. How do you go about redeeming that? I mean, you still got back to 7th in the end. You've still netted some points. At least it wasn't a 0. But how do you go about salvaging something now for the remaining 2 races?
I suppose you just accept that race was what it was. Like, I had pace, which is a good sign. So seeing that the cars are quite similar, I think we just have another crack again. Like, I'm not in line to try and win the championship, so it's just go all out and try and get some really good positions now.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Thanks for being a good sport, coming over to chat to us. I'm getting real Team Australia vibes with the livery tonight. I'm liking it. Probably one of the better ones we've got out there, if I'm honest with you. Have a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that a throwback to things like Will Power in the IndyCar and Champ Car days, and also, obviously, even A1 Grand Prix? It's got real good Team Australia vibes to it, the old green and gold, or canary yellow, as Billy Birmingham would call it. And very nicely done. We wish it and you well for the rest of the night, mate. Thanks for having a chat to us.
All good, mate. Good luck to the rest of you guys as well.
Thank you. And we've covered the entire East Coast there, ladies and gentlemen, because we've had Schultzy up here in 1911, better known as Queensland. We've had Adam down there in Melbourne, and Phil in the middle in Newcastle, New South Wales. A break on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. I'm coming back to Graham Stewart's question about safety points, and I'm going to get Adam Lavis to elaborate on that. But we'll take a break firstly so we can switch servers and get ready for the Toyotas. It's Tuesday Night Motorsport for Night 2, Week 10, Term 4, 2023. Hope you're enjoying the show as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. Leg 1 of a triple header done and dusted. It goes the way of Aiden Schultz. The second leg of a Tuesday night triple header on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and we make our way back to the Road America circuit in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We just switch vehicles. We jump from the Mazda MX-5 into the Toyota 86, so we stay oriental in terms of car manufacturer choice. There's no doubt about that. But now, of course, into something a little bit more modern than the MX-5, the Toyota Gazoo Racing 86. Zach Caban and Adam Lavis with you as week 10's second night of proceedings continues for you here in term 4 of 2023. And a beautiful day in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Reminder, of course, two reminders here. Firstly, number one, if you're looking for GT1, come back next week. The GT1 grand finale has been bumped a week, making way for the up-and-comers triple treat here tonight. And, of course, that'll come in at the earliest start time of 8:40 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So that is next Tuesday night. And no, I'm not available, ladies and gentlemen. I'm driving to Cessnock next Tuesday. I'll be knackered. And then, of course, second point is that we couldn't do this without the great people at Waste Options, Sprite Insiders, Orbic Australia, Login Systems, Player One Sim Gear, Lobezy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics, our dedicated, loyal, ongoing supporters of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Now, server time, 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time there in America. May 15, 2023, 54% humidity, 19 degrees the ambient, 21 on track. So all that remains the same. And in a moment, we'll have the grid for you as we get ready for race 2 of the night. Adam Lavis, our dear friend Mr. Stewart had a question there before we got to the break. It was with regards to the safety point system and how it works, please. Do you mind elaborating on that whilst we wait for cars to line up on the grid?
Yeah, so as I said in the comments, basically very similar to your road license demerit point system. So each driver has 10 points on their safety license for each series. And then obviously whenever you get a penalty, the RC will also associate anywhere from 1 to 5 safety points to that penalty. And once you lose a safety point, then it takes 10 rounds for that one to return back to your license. So you basically only have 10 points for a 10 round period type thing. And if you do happen to lose all 10 at any point in time, you get a race ban and then you go on probation. So very similar to your road license, just a way to try and cull the repeat offenders, basically, is what the idea behind it is.
Let's see if anyone falls foul of safety points tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We can update you on how this has played out so far. Philip Butler has taken pole position here in the 86. Aidan Schultz admittedly made point that this would not be his strongest car, and it hasn't been. Stuart Thompson's jumped into the server. He wasn't here earlier. Philip Howe has jumped out. So we've still got 2 Phillips and 2 Adams out there. And now we've got cars about to line up on the grid here in Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, ready for the second of the triple header. Remembering Formula 4 still to come tonight. And given that lap times aren't distinctly too far away from where we were earlier with the Mazdas, ladies and gentlemen, expect around about 12 laps again to be the race distance here. Philip Butler and Tristan Koch, the front row. Phil King and Stuart Thompson, the second row. Aidan Schultz, Adam Johnson, the third. Adam Tice, Tim Watson, the fourth. Jason Tierman, Matthew George, Greg Padgett, and Robert Colbreth make up the field. Going around the grounds for you. Quick update from the WACA ground in Perth. The heat in the 14th over against the Thunder and the WBBL Eliminator. 3 for 127, going along quite nicely. Big target ahead for the Thunder to chase tonight. The winner plays the Perth Scorchers there at the same ground tomorrow night. The loser goes home, and then the winner of tomorrow night's game goes and play the Adelaide Strikers on Saturday night. We're getting ready to go. Race 2 of the night here. The Lobezy Racing up-and-comers. Grand final week on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. They're gone. Great getaway, Phil Butler. Thompson went nowhere. Johnson split the pack. Johnson's made a blinder of a start. Johnson from 6th to 2nd. Up the outside of everybody on the run down to turn 1. He fancies leading the field and will do so. Johnson leads them to turn 1. Gets it a little bit squirrely on the approach. Hits the apex. Gathers it up and play on. Johnson the leader down the hill for the first time. Clean getaway. Schultz has moved up to 4th. Kosh has lost 3 spots. Thompson's lost 2. Whoa, Johnson in the dirt. Kosh displaces Schultz down the back straight for the first time. And if you're wondering why there's a little bit of Blinky Bill action going on for Aiden Schultz at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, A, there have been some storms in southeast Queensland throughout the course of the afternoon and last night as well. And B, well, I made the point actually in point number 1. He lives in Queensland, not in progressive civilization. Jason Tierman and Robert Colbreth off the road down at turn 5. And there also goes Greg Padgett. So Greg had a spin on lap 1 in the opening race. He's 2 from 2 for that, unfortunately. Can we get through the carousel, the kink, and Canada cleanly first time round this time? Let's find out. Adam Johnson, again, one of the pace setters here. Philip Butler, Phil King, Aiden Schultz pushing him along. Johnson towards Canada. We go. This is where it all went horribly wrong for him first time round. Let's wait and see. Oh, that's far better. Top 4 through unimpeded. Unfazed. The run down to Canada. Colbreth off the road, however. His second off-track excursion of the race. Whoa! Oh, Phil Butler fancy to dive down on the inside of Johnson. Pushed Johnson wide. And Johnson yields and goes back to second. Up the inside through 13. He wants the lead back. He'll get it. Butler then on the inside for 14 will take King with him. And all of a sudden, Johnson's been shuffled out, boxed out of it, back to third. Round the outside of King. He fancies second up the hill. Will get it. Schultz wants a piece of this as well. He wants third. He wants the insider King, who's getting the draft and toe on the slipstream from Johnson. But it doesn't matter because Schultz is down the inside. The Toyotas are putting on a great show in the early stages. The penultimate race of the season, the Lobezy Racing up-and-comers. Down the inside of turn 1, Johnson on Butler. Whoa, thanks for coming. Butler was turning in on him and then saw him and had to get out of it. King has dropped down a couple of spots. Johnson has lost out in that one as well. Something happened on the exit of turn 1 and Phil Butler's the beneficiary of it and brought Schultz through with him to second. And now Johnson begins the long crawl back up the order. One more time. King tucks in behind. They're chasing Tristan Kosh. There is a safety license point penalty coming the way of Jason Tierman for the incident with Greg Padgett on the opening lap. So much to pick apart here already at Road America. Down the inside, Schultz wants the lead. We'll get it from Philip Butler. I don't expect too much from me in the Toyota. He's leading the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We'll wait to have a chat with him afterwards, I can tell you. If he goes 2 from 2 here and keeps the championship aspirations alive, Phil King down the inside and Adam Johnson had to back out of it. Wow, that was unlucky for Johnson. He's lost a fair bit of track ground, track position, track territory in the early stages because of incidents like that. Thompson down on his inside now as well. Johnson off the road. Johnson off the road. Johnson off the road at turn 7. And rejoins in 7th, but 4 seconds down on the pack. Tice jumps up into 6th spot behind Stuart Thompson. They're at the top of the shot. 3-way fight at the bottom of the shot. Butler trying to go with Schultz and Kosh as well. Let's have a look at the replay. The start from Adam Johnson. Blinder. Hit the ground running and just took off. Checked out. That was brilliant. That wasn't so. Trent Lavis joins us for the first time tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we replay some of the incidents from lap 1 of race 2. Aiden Schultz at 2:33.067. And Trent, good evening to you. The Toyota 86 is nice to see a car that we're very familiar with here in Australia on the iRacing stage tonight.
Yeah, mate. It looks like that boys having a bit of fun here in the first lap. It's always a bit sketchy in the turn 1 here at Road America. So, yeah, see what the rest of the race brings along.
Absolutely. Philip Butler off the road. Philip Butler off the road and back down to 7th. That has championship implications. There are plenty of championship implications here, left, right, and centre tonight. There's another one. Butler, gone. Too much curb through turn 1. This is just paving the way beautifully for Schultz, isn't it? The seas are parting for our mate, the commentary colleague. Extraordinary. Really extraordinary. Hey, Trent, we got the chance to catch up with you last week and have a good chat about a few different things. Great that you've been able to come on board as a mentor and as a sponsor of the up-and-comers to keep one of the great aspects of the club alive, and that is, of course, this series over the course of 15 seasons.
Yeah, mate. I always look forward to getting everyone that's new to the sim world, or looking to learn a few new tricks if they've been around for a little while and keen to get some pace up. We've seen a lot of the club members these days work their way through this series and feed into obviously the more major series that we have on board and pick up some pace and experience. So it's always a really good landing pad, I suppose, for people that are new to the sim world.
And as for you, mates, I was just getting an update earlier. GT4 tomorrow night. That's going to be nice and spicy.
Yeah, it should be a bit of fun. I was actually planning on jumping in with the guys tonight, actually, in the upper covers in this thing, but I got home about 5 minutes too late, so I missed out on jumping on the server here and starting off the back of the grid with the up and comers and cruising around with the guys. But maybe I'll jump in for F4 for a couple of laps if
why not?
we're going to get a couple of people jumping in. So. But and obviously not cause any issues with championship implications, of course. That's not my jam, but keen to jump in and have a bit of fun with the boys. Yeah, GT4 tomorrow night should be good. Around the mountain in the GT4 car. I don't think I remember racing GT4s around the mountain. Every time it's been on the schedule, I haven't been in the series. I've been busy. So yeah.
So that'll be a lot of fun, mate. And it's a track that you know stranger to. Whoa, hang on, Trent. I'm coming back to you. 3 wide down the main straight. Have a look at this. Tyson King on the inside of Thompson to turn 1. King gets down the inside of Tyson. Thompson moves across to cover him off. So Thompson holds on to 3rd for now. Kosh is going with Schultz. Kosh has punched out a 2:32.135 to close within quarter of a second of Aiden Schultz. They've gapped the pack 4.2 seconds back to these 3. And slowly but surely, Tyson and King are losing Stuart Thompson. He's gone. The race lead is on the line for Tristan Kosh down on the outside of Aiden Schultz on the run down to turn 5. Schultz fights back on the inside, on the outside, I should say. Moves across to cover off Kosh. But it's on in earnest at the front. So yeah, Trent, it's a circuit that we know and love. It's a circuit that we're no stranger to. It got a good run last night as well.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, plenty of the Aussie lads have done plenty of laps around there. They're awfully familiar with it for obvious reasons. So it always puts on really good racing too, and sorts out the men from the boys for those that can keep it off the fence and put in some fast laps.
And I'll be interested to see how long it takes you and one C Whittaker to start exchanging barbs on Thursday night, because you didn't miss each other last week.
Yeah, let's see if I can get on Thursday night. I do have some plans this week. Let's see if I can jump on for a little bit, hopefully just for the Formula Vs and then park it. But we'll see how we go.
How was I think it was Beanley RSL, was it?
Oh, the old Rissol. It was very good, actually.
Yeah, very good. Very nice. Is that a recommendation from 1T Lavis?
Yeah, mate. We used to go there every single week for many years.
I like it.
Always a cracking feed and always good value. So well worth it if you're in the area. Plus, they got a really cool leopard tank sitting in the front car park as you drive down the road down Barrel. So that's pretty cool as well.
Nicely done. In the meantime, stay there with me, mate. Coming back to you in a moment. Have a look at Schultz under assault here from Kosh. Round onto the main straight. Can Kosh get the slipstream here? 4 laps gone. We're not in the pit window just yet. Robert Colbreth has got back out onto the racetrack, but he's the better part of a lap down now. Jason Tyman also has been on pit road at one point here for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And it's the better part of 3/4 of a lap down. Now Schultze's blinky billing. Down the inside goes Kosh to turn 1. Can't get it done. Tucks back in. How unnerving, how unsettling is that for you as a racer, Trent, when you've got someone having network issues in front of you, dropping in and out like an epileptic fit?
I dare say if you had a direct drive steering wheel that has plenty of feedback, it'd be terrifying. Because if they end up appearing on top of you and you get a netcode incident, it can rip the wheel straight out of your hand. So not ideal, and definitely fair old distraction as well if you're trying to cut a line.
Absolutely. And here goes Kosh. He's had enough of it. He reckons the best way to avoid the blinky bill stuff is to be in front of it. Schultz wants to fight back and force the issue down the high side and does so. So the nightmare continues for Tristan Kosh for a little bit longer. Oh boy.
Great track, this one. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got the long straights, it's got the tight stuff, It's got the flowing corners, undulation, a little bit of everything for everybody. So.
We've very rarely ever seen a dud race around here, mate. It always delivers in spades. So much better than some of the other tracks that we have visited in recent times. I reckon if you were to schedule a race, at least one race a week across one championship at Road America, we'd be happy all season long. Round the outside goes Tristan Kosh. Schultze was wide coming out of 6 and 7. Or 8 and 9, I should say. My apologies. And still under attack. On the run up to 12. Through the King. Who yields? Nobody. Kosh! Wide in the grass. Gathered it up. Did well. Dropped a bunch of ground though. Schultz survives another assault. Wow. It's always fraught with danger when you go 2 by 2 through there. Oh boy, they got away with it, but barely.
Definitely my least favourite corner on the whole track, that one.
Yeah. We've seen a few people come unstuck in that part of the racetrack. It is so fraught with danger.
It's hard enough trying to get some speed through there, let alone 2 wide.
Exactly, but that's Road America, isn't it? I mean, it is one of those great racetracks where bravery is rewarding. You can be rewarded for it, but you can just as easily be punished for it, can't you?
Oh, certainly. Yeah. Same with a lot of tracks. Bathurst probably also in that same arena as well.
Yep. Agreed. So what's the plans for have a look at Ticey. Ticey down the inside of King. Tice to 4th. Adam Johnson to pit road. There's the first of the stops. Tice to 4th. Can he get this championship done still? We'll find out shortly. What's the plan?
It is first and second. They're still battling both races.
They are. Yep. King back down the outside. Tice down the inside. Tice gets it for the moment. King hangs tough. King will have the inside running when they get down to turn 5. So, Trent, what's plans for Christmas and New Year, mate? Do you spend more time on the race car in the sim rig? Do you put tools down and just put the feet up for a little bit?
A little bit of all of the above, I think. This is my plan at this stage. Definitely a lot to do with to do the Sylvia to get it going again for next season.
Excellent.
But yeah, I might jump on the sim for a couple of races for some of the fun races the boys put on when I get a free evening, just to wind down. But yeah, actually the family's heading over to Perth after Christmas, so that should be
nice.
A good week and a bit away over on the other side of the ditch, on the side of the other side of the desert.
On the other side of the continent, yeah, on the other side of the Nullarbor. At least over there, the time difference makes sense, Trent. So that'll be, yes, you'll enjoy it over there. It's a lovely part of the world. I must admit, I was over there recently, as you know, for the Hyundai XL Nationals. That video will drop on social media in due course, ladies and gentlemen. This is Aidan Shaw. Oh no! The parked car of Robert Colbreth was blocking the road. Schultze had nowhere to go. Tristan Kosh leads. Stuart Thompson second. And Aidan Schultz is third.
Oh, he's in deep.
Oh no!
He's missed his marker.
And he's left Schultze with nowhere to go. And no one's fault. That's just one of those racing incidents. You feel for Schultze, though, because he was on track for a perfect night. Tyson King now scrapping still, and Tice back down the inside, King around the outside. They're still side by side, Trent. This is ridiculous.
Oh, it's awesome. These guys are having a cracking battle. I'm sure they're having a good old giggle in the Discord at the moment with each other as well. Just high fives all around, I'm sure.
But yeah, I must admit, mate, loved Perth. Spent 5 days over in Wanneroo, as you know, for the recent Hyundai XL Nationals. And I must admit, I'm very excited to go back there as a tourist at some point, maybe during the AFL season, maybe during the cricket season. It's wonderful. So I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Down the main straight we go. Phil King in fourth as Adam Tice comes to pit lane. Back to Aidan Schultz in third, who's trying now to reel in Stuart Thompson, and good luck with that.
Interesting, he didn't dive straight in and get his fast pair, so he's going to lose a bit of time in this lap with the straight line speed of that, because that's going to definitely slow him down.
One of the great legacies of the club, as I said earlier, Trent, has been this up-and-coming series, and it's been staged in a few different guises on a couple of different broadcast nights over the years as well. But it's been a breeding ground for the guys that are new to the club, just cutting their teeth, trying to not necessarily lift their iRacing repertoire and their iRating per se, but just honing their craft and honing their skill.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not just open to people that are new to the club as well. It's open to old members as well that have been around for a while, that are always looking to, have some nice, clean, fun racing. It's been a very good series for that. The guys are always very gentlemanly in the racing world. A little bit less shit station. Oh no!
Off goes Tierman. A little bit of rallycross down through Canada corner. 11th of the runners at the moment. The last on track. Olbreth still on pit road, has been for a minute 57. And that's unfortunate for Jason Tierman. Distant last as far as those on the lead lap is concerned, but he's, with every off-track skirmish from here on in, he's edging closer to being a lap down on Tristan Koch, who leads by 3 seconds to Thompson, who has 4.2 on Aidan Schultz. So, unfortunately, this one's fizzled out somewhat, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, things will spice back up again as the pit stops play out. The end of lap 7, 5-second penalty for Robert Colbreth for not holding brakes on Aidan Schultz. Now, that's interesting. That's interesting.
A little bit hard done by there, I think. A little bit.
I thought so.
Even if he did hold his brakes, probably wouldn't have made too much of a difference to the outcome of that one. But
no,
he definitely rolled forward, and as per the club rules, it's a big no-no. So definitely a little bit of a rapid for not keeping the brakes on.
Top 5 on pit road as well, mate. Tristan Koch, Stuart Thompson, Aidan Schultz, Philip King and Philip Butler are all on pit road right now. Tristan Koch has the fastest lap of the race, 2:32.135. He also has the race lead. Now, this is what tripped him up in the previous race, Trent. I don't know how much of the earlier one you saw, the Mazdas, but this is where the race was won and lost, because everyone was trying to make sure that they had their numbers, their sums right, their calculations for fuel. And right there, Stuart Thompson out in 11.58 has reeled in Tristan Koch. Butler and Schultz and King are on their way. Butler still on pit road. Watson still on pit road, but King and Schultz are neck and neck as well. And Thompson's right there. So now it's a guessing game. Now it's a waiting game, Trent, to see if these guys have done their numbers right, done their homework, got their sums right with regards to how much fuel they had to take on board to get through to the checkered flag, because that was what tripped up Adam Johnson, in race 1.
Yeah, mate, they're probably taking a loan of your Zaculator, mate. They should be all right, but if they haven't been dialed in, they might be a little bit out of whack. So fingers crossed they've got it sorted for this one.
There's Zaculator ticked off your bingo card tonight too, ladies and gentlemen. We're edging closer to filling it up, I promise you. Now there is Philip Butler back in 8th spot. This is why. Philip Butler's come unstuck at turn 3. Uh-oh. No. Deep grass.
Just the rear end entry there by the looks of it.
And gone. So, 14.1 seconds for Koch, 11.5 for Thompson. Here comes King on the inside. Schultz and muscling him out.
And Schultz forgot to check his fast repair. He's still got damage.
He does indeed. So he's hamstrung. against a fast-charging Philip King around the outside. Oh boy, there's pressure everywhere you look at the moment. King trying to find a way by. Adam Tice wanting in on this fight as well. Down to Canada once more. Thompson's within an earshot of Tristan Koch. King down the inside of Schultz.
Here comes Ticey as well.
Yep, and Ticey wants in on this. Schultz hanging tough, not tough enough. Opens the door up just nicely. King goes through, consolidates. Now we wait to see what Schultz can do to fend off Tice or not. And will he benefit any from the slipstream down the main straight? Let's go.
There's also a little bit on entry there. He might not be close enough.
Schultz or Ticey? I think Ticey is who you're talking to. Yeah, let's have a look at this because Schultz is all over the back of King like a cheap suit. Down to turn one. Sarah King cheering for Phil tonight. I reckon there's a sibling relationship tie in there somewhere. There'd almost have to be. Now down the inside, let's have a look at this. Schultz still can't find a way by Phil, who's holding third at the moment. They're 5.7. Jeez, Phil did well to gather that up, but that invites Adam Tice in here with a big chance. Stuart Thompson's taken the lead as well. Thompson's taken the lead off Koch. Schultz goes to third. Ticey's pushing him along. They've swamped on King, who tripped up on the exit of 3, but he's got the inside running through 4 and down to 5. King will hold on for the moment. Schultz goes to the outside. Can he find a way around the long way? Hanging tough. No, not yet. Brilliant defensive driving from Philip King to keep Schultz at bay a little bit longer. Damaged car and all. And it's a genuine three-way fight for third in the car race with 7 minutes to go. 3 laps at the line. Have a look at this again. This was Stuart Thompson taking the lead away from Tristan Koch. Just arrive and drive and land on the scene on the top step of the summit. We didn't see him in race 1. He's landed for race 2. And he's on a mission.
Under brakes there, chopping his nose off. It's a little bit cheeky, but got it done.
Just a little bit. Oh boy. And through we go. Ticey's still hanging on here. Schultz is all over the back of King. King's dragging the train along. Colbreth still on pit road. Remains on pit road. And remember, he's got to get to... Hello, Alex Court. Nice to have you on board. Hello to everybody else tuning in as well. I do occasionally see the names pop up at the top of the screen. That tells us we've got a new viewer. Or at least someone liking the stream, I should say. There's Philip King. Aiden Schultz behind. Adam Tice for company. Adam Johnson's got Tim Watson for company further back. Philip Butler and Matthew George as well. Then we go back to Greg Padgett in 10th place. Jason Tierman is 11th. And Robert Colbreth brings me to the point that I wanted to make. That if you want to be classified in this race, you've got to make it to lap 9. The end of lap 9 of 12. You can be 3 laps down, but you've still marked 75% race distance. So you've got to get there. Sarah's the daughter. I knew there'd be some sort of tie in relation. Oh no! Round goes Koch! Round goes Thompson! The 2 leaders have come together! The 2 leaders have come together at time 3! And this race gets flipped on its bloody lid again! Philip King and Aiden Schultz are all of a sudden fighting for the lead down the back straight! Oh, can you believe grand final night in Lobezy racing up and comers, ladies and gentlemen? And down the outside goes Schultz. They know the race wins now on the line again. Can King hold on? Can he withstand the pressure of Schultz and Tice? Because if the pressure was looming and lurking a moment ago, the intensity, the stakes have raised.
And it's even more important for King and Ticey here, because they've gone from battling for a 4th, 5th place, where there's only like a 2-point gap per position, to podium positions were worth 6 points per position. So this is even more into King's favour here, being in the podium spots with a car between him and Tyson.
Absolutely, it is. And Schultzy, he said there a few moments ago, when we were talking to him earlier, I don't see myself in championship contention. I'll have a crack if I'm able to do so without implicating anybody else or affecting their run. And he's right there pushing Phil King through at the moment. Oh boy.
Yeah, here comes Thompson as well. He's putting some heaters in. He's really closing the gap, so it's not going to be a 4-way fight in no time here.
And he's on a mission. Whatever happened with him and Tristan Koch over at turn 3, and we need a replay of that if we can get one. Whatever happened with those two over there, Stuart Thompson has bounced back the better of the pair. Because he's got back to within a second of the leading trio now. Let's have a look at this. Thompson up the outside. Oh, no.
Oh.
I tell you what, race control will be having a look at that, I reckon. Oh. Because it looks as though... Now, I don't want to be too judgmental here, but it looks as though Tristan Koch might have got a little bit squeezed there and wasn't too happy about it. Let's have another look. We may need to go back a little bit further than that, but yes, definitely on the exit of the corner there was contact. Rear, front left to rear right. No disputing that. And have a look at Thompson moving across. And right there, Tristan Koch was out of room. And there's the contact. Looks like we've got the entire King stable tuning in tonight as well, ladies and gentlemen. Dale's chiming in on the comments as well. This is the penultimate lap. It's a 4-way fight for the win. It's King and Schultz. It's Schultz to the inside at 5. Down the inside goes Schultzy. Down the inside on King. Have a look at Schultzy to the lead. Only a 5-second penalty coming the way of Stuart Thompson as well for lack of racing room. So forget about him. He's not in the fight here. He might be able to play a role in affecting somebody else's charge, a la Adam Tice. But he will not factor in the results here. It will be 5 seconds. Now, Tristan Koch has got back to within 5 seconds of Stuart Thompson here and now. So that would be a direct swap of position. But the lowest Thompson can finish at this stage will be position number 5.
And Tice is like when he sees in front because he's just seen 6 points come back to his favour.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, this championship is alive. It's hanging by a thread. It's in the balance. We love it. This and one more to go. Schultz leads, King second, Tice third, King back down the outside to Canada corner. King back down the outside and back to the lead on Schultz. Tice is in there as well. Hold your breath, it's over in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this. A 4-way fight on track, but a 3-way fight by the timesheets. We know that Thompson's got a 5-second invoice coming his way. We know that Schultzy would love to win this, to double it up and give himself a chance at the triple treat tonight at the clean sweep. But he's going to have to fend off a hard-charging, well-performing Philip King, who doesn't have an ounce of damage on that car at the moment. Schultzy's a little bit hamstrung. Down the main straight. White flag in the air.
Yeah, pushing out on PB laps.
Than that. Wow. Schultz is second. The leader is King. Schultz can't find a way through.
King's wide again.
Oh,
He
King's
needs
wide.
only to make a mistake. And that's exactly the point. He only needed to make one mistake, and there he's lost 2 spots. He'll lose 3 if he's not careful. He'll get one of those back at the line, provided that he keeps it clean. And that was the point I was about to make. He need only keep it on the black stuff and keep it clean, and he would have brought it home. Unfortunately, he's put it on the grass, and he's dropped 3 spots. Oh dear. The chance presents it to Aiden Schultz to double up on a Tuesday night. Thompson back down the inside, takes King with him. King and Ty side by side. Oh! There's a bit even shoulder. King lucky not to go round. It's somewhat anticlimactic at Road America. King needs to be careful. Kosh as well. Kosh is going to be there right on King at the end here if he's not careful. Tyson's going to come through in a second once Thompson's 5-place penalty is applied, or 5-second penalty, I should say, is applied. There's so much going on here at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Aiden Schultz, after running into Robert Colbreth, didn't look like he would win this thing. Thompson wants to win it on the track, fully aware of the 5-second invoice that he's got coming his way.
He's only 2 tenths away from getting 5th place, though.
True. Schultz sold us. Schultz sold us a bum steer there a short while ago. He pulled a Brenton Hobson on us. He said, I don't know how I'm going to go in this bloody thing. Look at him. Main straight 2 from 2. Schultz will get the job done because Thompson's got a 5-second penalty coming his way. Thompson crosses the line first, will be classified 5th by the barest of margins. 2nd to Schultz, 3rd to Tice, 4th to King, 5th to Tristan Kosh. Adam Tice has had that incident with Philip King addressed as netcode. And King comes through in 4th after leading at the start of the final lap. Further back, Tim Watson and Phil Butler. Butler trying to get back down the inside. Side by side on the run up the hill to the line. Lock Butler! No, Watson got him by 0.02 of a second. That was the battle for 7th. There were battles everywhere in that half an hour fight. It kept us on the edge of our seat from first until last. Thompson got it done at the line by 0.35 of a second. Will get relegated to 5th after finishing 0.04 shy of 5 seconds up the road on Tristan Kosh. The margin between 1st and 5th was 4.96. So Thompson was a stone's throw away from being 4th. He'll finish 5th. Oh boy. Ticey in for 3rd, Phil King 4th, and Tristan Kosh 5th. But all that top 5 get flipped around. So 2nd through 5th up a spot, and Thompson loses 4. That's how tight it was, ladies and gentlemen. That's how enjoyably entertaining it was. Trent, I mean, it doesn't have to be the Dentures and the Merritts or the Lavises and the Whitakers of this series in this club dishing out the thrills on a Tuesday night. The up-and-comers, I mean, they can throw on just as good a show as anybody.
Oh, mate, aren't they turning it on? It's fantastic.
Poor boy. How good. Have a look at that. 4.959 cover the top 5. Oh, with the hip and shoulder and all. What about that for a final couple of laps? The pack got brought back together after that incident between Thompson and Kosh. It'll be long spoken about. And we'll get Tristan's thoughts on that in just a moment. He's jumped in to say good day. Greg Padgett's here as well, I'm delighted to say. And so too is Aiden Schultz. Schultzy, nice bum steer you've given us there, my friend. You've gone 2 from 2, and you didn't give yourself too much of a chance in these 86s here.
Mate, I had nothing. What are you talking about?
No.
I had absolutely nothing.
Well, you had enough to get the job done because Stuart Thompson's got a 5-second penalty, and we're aware of that. He's probably aware of that now, and if he wasn't already, he is now because he's jumped into the commentary box as I've said it. How lucky for you as well, Schultzy, that there wasn't enough damage sustained in the incident with Robert Colbreth, who left you nowhere to go, unfortunately. Just unfortunate the way that that car spun and landed directly on the racing line. So Colbreth, the only retirement in all of that. You sustain a little bit of damage, lose a heap of room and ground, come back to pit lane, don't click your fast repair, and still manage to pull this off.
I know, right? Didn't click my fast repair. What a naughty moment. I got no idea. But we kept going. I'll tell you what, we were hamstrung in a straight line. That battle with Phil King at the end. That was epic. That was good. But I had nothing down a straight line, so it was good fun. We're 2 from 2, so that's good. We'll see how we go in the F4.
How do you feel about the open wheelers? I mean, last week you had an okay run at Imola.
Yeah, I think I was going to be 2 wins, but I let Phil past, and then not sure what happened to the other one. I think I ran out of talent in one of them, but
yes,
I don't know. We'll see how we go, mate. Usually okay. I don't know. It's a good bunch of guys and a good field, so we'll see. We'll find out in about 25 minutes' time when we finish qualifying.
I just wouldn't recommend door-to-door racing this time round because that's a one-way recipe to turning them into a canoe, Schultzy.
Yeah, 100%. We don't want no canoe.
No.
Your night can be over real quick, but we'll see how we go. Usually we are pretty quick, or I am pretty quick in the F4, but as are most of these guys. So if we can go 3 from 3 tonight, I'll be really happy.
Indeed, and really for the most part, mate, great, entertaining, clean racing, and you had to fend off both Kingy and Ticey at one point there, and also Tristan Kosh gave you a real wriggle on in the early stages as well.
Yeah, he did. Koshy, it was the one that got away from him. He definitely had the pace. I was still trying to learn it. I only jumped on again after talking to you with very limited practice. I think I got like 2 laps in qualifying starting at a P5, so still learning it through the half hour, but Koshy was quick, man, and yeah, he deserved to be up there, as did I can't remember who got second, who got the 5-second penalty or whatever, but they were definitely quicker than me. But at the end of the day, you got to put yourself there, and we were there, and we got the job done.
Indeed, we did. It was very well done too, mate. So congratulations on that. And obviously, you came here hoping to tick the box, but despite all that's been thrown at you, you couldn't have imagined a better 2 results than that so far. And now you're in the position that you're in to try and notch up a trifecta, a clean sweep, a hat trick.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. But you've seen me race plenty of times, mate. Like it can be anything. It can be ducks or diamonds, mate. So yep. We'll see how we go.
Hey, don't put the mock on you, Shorty. Let us do that for you. No, well done. Congratulations. Great entertainment, clean racing, really good quality, top shelf stuff on a Tuesday night. We don't normally get to showcase the up-and-comers, but Adam Lavis wrote me into it last night, and given that it was Road America, we always knew we were in for something special. So well done for playing your part in that, and good luck in race 3.
Yeah, no worries, mate, and thank you for taking the time out to commentate. Looking forward to GT4s tomorrow night and the Radicals. But yeah, mate, it's been good, and last hurrah here in the F4s for the up-and-comers, so looking forward to it. But yeah, I'll let you go and talk to the other boys, and I'll go get some laps in.
Yep, go for it. Use it to your advantage while I'm delaying everybody else from getting there to join you. There he is, Aidan Schultz, race winner here in race 2, the Toyota 86 leg of the triple header on a Tuesday night, the Lobezy Racing up-and-comers. Stuart Thompson and Tristan Kosh are here as well. And Tristan, to be fair, you had a bird's eye view for Schultz's incident. You also were involved in the race defining moment with Stuart Thompson as well. So I'll start with you. There was a fair bit of argy-bargy. You two, there was no holds barred at the front of the field. It's very entertaining stuff. We were watching the battle behind you, and then all of a sudden it became the battle for the lead. Talk me firstly through the battle with Aidan Schultz in the early stages, because you did have some good pace on board and you took up front running early in the piece with him. And then obviously talk me through your viewpoint of the incident with Stuart.
Well, racing with Aidan was absolutely superb. It's so just going to say, just going around the bottom there and just seeing Aidan stop abruptly. It was great racing by Aidan. It was awesome. What can you say? And then, with Stuart, just unfortunate, really, that we took each other out, really.
True. In saying that as well, I mean, Schultz being first one on the scene, that really worked to your favour, to your advantage, didn't it, mate? Because it gave you a little bit more time to be aware of what was going on and take evasive action. You got very lucky.
Yeah, very lucky indeed. And look, yeah, I think it would have been a different race if that incident didn't occur. But yeah, unlucky for Aidan. But then again, as I say, look where he came from. It was superb racing by Aidan.
It certainly was. Superb racing by you as well, mate. Disappointing for it to end that way, but it's still fourth and you're still in the fight.
Yeah, got to keep, like you say, got to keep pushing, got to keep going, and never give up. Should be interesting for the next one too.
I was just about to ask you that, and I apologise because I'm midway through topping up the drink tank here at the moment. I was expecting it. Most drivers talk for about 30 seconds. You talk for about 5, so you caught me off guard there. But in saying that, let me get your thoughts on race 3, because now totally different dynamic. We switch from tin tops to open wheelers. We jump into the Formula 4. You'll have a bit more pace on board. What are your thoughts?
I think look, how's this? My goal is to follow Aiden. How's that? I'll leave it at that.
Well,
see how we go.
It worked for you last time round.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see how we go. I've got to do some qualifying. Again, thank you for broadcasting through the year, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure listening to your wonderful voice.
Oh well, I'll take the compliment. I'm not sure if it's wonderful. But
it's certainly not reciprocated across the board.
Exactly. No, not at all. I was going to say there's a few people that are happy to hear it going silent for the next 8 weeks. But I appreciate that, mate. And thank you for the entertainment you brought to the table thus far. Good luck in race 3.
Done, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you. Catch it.
Rightio, Stuart Thompson. Let's get your thoughts on this. Firstly, nice to see you because you were a late arrival on the grid tonight. We didn't see you in the Mazda earlier, but you joined the field of 12 for the Toyotas. It was basically a substitution. It was Phillip Howe out, Stuart Thompson in. Great pace, a great hard charge, hustle and bustle. And even with that incident with Tristan, you were first across the post, but they've docked you 5 seconds. Your take on it?
Yeah, well, the reason I'm racing tonight was I work from home today. Normally it's too early for me. I live in Singapore. And my goal was not to get in the way of the guys who were part of the series, which I failed at, unfortunately. So apologies to Tristan. I came out of turn 1, a bit hot and tried to protect the inside line, and he went up the inside line. By the time I managed to sort of pull out and get into turn 3, we came together. So unfortunate, but it was a great race. Had a great fun out there.
Absolutely was. No, you did an awesome job, mate. You kept us on our toes. You kept us entertained. And then you didn't let the chance go begging. As soon as you could get turned back around and going in the right direction again, you chased down the pack and led the field across the post. So obviously you've hit the ground running. Am I right to assume that you like the Toyota 86 and you like the way it drives?
I've probably driven it about 5 times. Yeah, it does. It actually it handles well. It turns in pretty nicely. It trail brakes nicely. So I managed to find a bit of pace out of it tonight, which was really enjoyable.
Are you hanging around and having a run in the Formula 4?
I don't actually own the car, so probably not.
Probably not.
I might try come and do this another week.
Absolutely. Although that being said, so obviously being based in Singapore, you've got that in common with Richard Mitchum. You're obviously on the same time zone as our colleagues on the West Coast here in Australia, like Joe Baldwin and Brock Kelly, etc. In saying that, and I think I'm right in saying Ricky Vincent's over there as well. In saying that, the time difference you've highlighted as an obvious issue as to why we don't see you on a more regular basis, but what do you most enjoy about getting on board and racing within the GSRC, mate?
Well, I don't have the pressure of fighting for championships. So a race like this, I sympathise with some of the guys because they're trying to protect points, and I'm just going out there having fun and just trying to drive as fast as I can, and hopefully not cause too many incidents. So in that way, I don't get to usually participate in a full season until you guys come off summertime, and then it's a bit easier. But yeah, it takes a bit of pressure off. Means I can just enjoy the races when I can join them.
Indeed. Now, I was going to say we did have Greg Padgett standing on by to have a chat to us, but I'll get to Greg a little bit later on. because he's seen his way out the door before we've gone any further. Hopefully he'll be lining up in the Formula 4 with everybody else, and we'll catch up with him too. Hey, Stuart, you mentioned that we're on summertime. Well, most of us are. The progressive and civilised parts of the country are, mate, but obviously not the case for Queensland, the Northern Territory, or WA. In saying that, though, how regular how regular is your participation in sim racing across the board, mate? What do you do outside of the GSRC on the sim?
I do the odd official here and there. Work keeps me pretty busy, and weekends of family times and out riding bikes and stuff like that. So I don't get to put in as many hours, I think, as most of the guys on the team actually. I'm surprised they've kept me around for so long, to be honest. So it's this is it really. Most of the time, maybe a couple of hours in officials during the week.
Yep, fair call. Shame that you don't own the Formula 4 car, because that's the next up assignment, mate. So we'll let you go on that note as we get ready for Formula 4. And before we do that, we'll have a chat to Adam Thompson as well. But thanks for stopping by the booth. Well done on bringing plenty of entertainment and drama to that second leg of the triple header for us tonight. We've greatly enjoyed it. We were greatly entertained and enthused by that on the edge of our seats for the last half hour. So thanks for that. All the best for Christmas, and we look forward to seeing you next year on our service, mate. Go well.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.
Stuart Thompson, very nicely done. Hey, that was a really nice performance, all things considered. Yeah, you don't want a 5-second invoice, but hey. Just before I go to Adam Johnson, Treno, you're still here with me. The interesting thing about this time of the year, and it was highlighted there by Stuart, you've got those that are genuine outright race contenders against those that are solely focused on ticking the boxes they need to or they require to with regards to their championship fight. And again, we've seen that on show tonight. We saw it last night as well with Merritt and Turner against Denji. Trent there?
Oh, sorry,
there
I thought you took an AJ. I thought you took an AJ. That's all right.
No, for you. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, so, yeah, it's always a bit of a mix, the people that are fighting for the championship, some people take it pretty seriously, but at the end of the day, we're all here to have a little bit of fun, and it's actually good to measure yourself against the big stick if you get the opportunity to do so, and obviously learn, what are they doing differently, especially with the cars and fixed setups. Like, you can know that that's the equalizer, so, whatever they can do, you should be able to do as well, is sort of the rule of thumb. But yeah, interesting to see what happens in this next race with the people that are coming in. So I'm not sure if there's a couple of different people in here as well. I can see a different name in there that I haven't seen before in this one. So interesting to see.
Indeed it will be, mate. Let me get to Adam before we rock and roll out of here and switch servers one more time and go racing one last time in 2023 as far as the up-and-comers are concerned. Adam, talk us through that one, mate. Started 6th, finished 6th. Not without its drama, though.
Oh, there was a lot of drama. Off the start was always a good feeling in those the 86. The dual clutches is amazing in that car. It's overpowered. But
so I guess the obvious question is a blinder of a start, and then unfortunately the only way was down.
Yeah, which, to be honest, probably cycling back to 4th to 6th was probably where my pace was really, especially once, which I usually make some mistakes. I haven't got really clean in racing and not making mistakes yet. Still learning. So as soon as you get out of the pack, it was usually always going to go like that. But yeah, it was interesting mixing it with them up the front there right at the start.
Must have been a nice feeling to be able to do that, and hopefully you can take some of that momentum forward into the Formula 4, mate.
Yeah, well, it is definitely a different car though, so it feels good knowing you've got pace, but then jumping in and pretty much throwing out all the ability you had in the last car and starting again. So yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll just keep trucking.
Indeed, and what about that? What about that shift from a tin top to an open wheeler? How much time is that going to take you to get your head around that?
couple of laps in qualifying here was what it took me to get used to trusting the front grid. But then again, it's going to depend on how much I trust and how fast I am versus how everyone else goes, which I suppose we'll find out at the end of qualifying if I'm there or not.
Indeed, we will, and I guess, yeah, I wonder how the scoreboard is looking now. That's a very good question. We're going to get to that very, very shortly. Don't worry about that. And I guess hopefully you'll have someone to race with this time round, mate. Because as far as the results sheet is concerned, there it says you were 16 seconds down the road from Tristan Kosh, and you're 4 seconds up the road from Tim Watson. So it was a relatively lonely run to the checkered flag.
Yeah, so I pitted a bit earlier than Tim, and then he came out right around me, and I just got in front of him into turn one, and then so I got past him, and then just slowly builded the gap, and I broke the slipstream, and then he just kept slipping back, and that was it.
All right, mate. We'll let you go on that note. Go well with race 3. Good luck in the Formula 4. Hopefully some good racing ahead of us, and we'll check in at the end.
Thanks, mate.
If qualifying's anything to go by, boys, once you get in here, it's going to be tight. It's going to be super tight.
It's going to be spicy. It's going to be good. We'll take a break on that note, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tuesday Night Motorsport, a special Grand Final Week edition for you on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. The two Lobezy boys and Zach Caben with you for race 3 coming up very shortly as we turn our attention from Mazda first, Toyota second, and now to Formula 4. We've got some thoughts on that when we come back as well. As we get into the third and final race of the 10th and final round of the season. Night 2 of week 10 of term 4. The Lobezy Racing up-and-comers champions crown when we come back to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, and we do it not just with thanks to Lobezy Racing, but of course all the other great sponsors and supporters of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. They include Waste Options, Freight Insiders, Orvic Australia, Login Systems, Player One Sim Gear, and Wave Australia, Flash Graphics. A break and back with more. Tuesday night motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman's Sim Racing Club. Welcome to League 3 of the triple header for the Lobezy Racing Up and Comers Grand Finale of 2023. The fourth and final term, night 2 of week 10 for everybody playing along at home. And we zero in again on Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The venue for championship night. 30 minutes ahead of us from the entree to the main course, and now to dessert. And from tin tops to open wheelers to the Formula 4. And of course, that is the lay of the land. 6.5 kilometres around here. Adam Lavis, I'm going to have to get you to do something about that screen, mate. I can't see a bloody thing coming off on that at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on, whether it's my end or yours, but that screen's just... Thank you. But I promise you, folks, this will be an absolute treat of a race for you. Much better, Adam. Thank you. 8 o'clock in the morning, 19 degrees the Evian, 21 on track, and 6.5 kilometres this circuit. 54% humidity. It is 14 turns. It's given us 2 cracking races so far. I'm sure the third will be no exception. Philip King has taken pole position here ahead of Tristan Koch. Aiden Schultz, 0.15 of a second, actually, separates first and third here. And if we go back, it's quarter of a second between first and third. Sorry, it's 0.13 between first and second. It's 0.99 of a second, nearly a full second covering first and sixth. How good is that? We do this, of course, with thanks to Lobezy Racing. We've got the cars about to line up on the grid here. As I say, we go from the tin tops to the open wheel up. And let's hope that with an extra couple of laps of racing here thrown in for good measure, we get something dished up very similar to what we saw earlier, which was exceptional top shelf quality. And of course, this is what it all hinges on, ladies and gentlemen. This is the championship finale. They're the live standings on the right-hand side of your screen. So it's still very much there for the taking. But anything could happen here over the next handful of laps. Adam Lavis will be trying his best to update you on live points as we go here, folks. Adam Tice holds the championship lead coming into this race, ahead of Phil King. It's a 2-horse race. Schultzy's jumped up into 4th as the night's gone on here. Adam Johnson and Tristan Koch have been left behind. So all positional battles still on. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. But at the moment, we're keeping our eyes on Tice and King. And I'll get Adam Lavis to elaborate and explain to us a little bit later on exactly what all that means for us as we go on. The grid, Phil King and Tristan Koch, Aiden Schultz and Philip Butler, then Tim Watson and Jason Time, and then Adam Johnson and Adam Tice, then Matthew George and Robert Colbrook. And, of course, Trent Lavis is latched on at the back of the grid there as well. We might actually, Trent, I'm not sure just how much you're going to throw the cat amongst the pigeons here, but we might get you to take us for a lap of the circuit a little bit later on if you're going to hang out there for a while. Racing, let's go. And I apologise because he's just up whilst talking to you.
That's all good.
The final one of the campaign for the Lobezy Racing Up and Comers. Look at this, 3 wide on the run to turn 1. Everybody needs to take a degree of caution to turn 1 and get through there cleanly. Don't want to be working from behind in the early stages. Good clean start for Phil King. Aiden Schultz back out in the slipstream now, side by side. The run down to turn 5. Schultz goes to the lead. King will fight back on the inside. Schultz fancies his chances around the outside. Goes deep. Break speed off the corner, but Phil King's done enough to hold on the inside. King and Tice know that they need to only finish here. A DNF crucifies them. Schultz all over the back of King at the moment on the run down to turn 7. Whoa, King's wide. King's round! Oh, no! Championship defining moment there, potentially. thankfully, he's been able to drive away from it. Thankfully, it's not curtains. Nor he or anybody else implicated in that, structural damage perspective. Because that would have been detrimental. That could have been not done, even with the fast repair. Phil King is fighting back from 10th in the order at the moment. And at the front, we've got Adam Johnson with a blinder of a start up 4 spots. All over the back of Philip Butler. Hayden Schultz has bolted. Lap 1 in the books. We anticipate going 14 laps here, ladies and gentlemen. Over the course of 30 minutes. 3 different servers tonight for those of you playing along at home. Qualifying and racing individually. But as far as round points are concerned, whoa, Johnson's wide at 1. Johnson's in the grass. Drops 3 spots. Down to 5th. Oh, boy. Johnson's had a great run for the most part tonight. Sarah makes a good point. Anything can happen in Mario Kart, and that's exactly what these things can be. So Johnson's had all the pace, but just lacked a little bit of consistency. He's thrown it down the road too many times. Well, speaking of which, he had to take caution there and avoid Tim Watson. It was wide on the exit of 5 and down the inside. So with that, Johnson's one of those guys that could have been a contender tonight had it not been for a couple of mistakes along the way. Phil King's working his way back through the field, back up into 8th spot, making light work of Matthew George and Jason Timon. Robert Goldbreath down last of the running cars at the moment. We had 11 starters, so we've lost another one on the run between the Toyotas to the Formula 4s here. We know it was Stuart Thompson because he admitted that he doesn't own the car. So he came in, had a run in the 86, and that was it. But yes, damage so easily sustained in these cars. Fast repair is one thing, but a tow job rules you out of contention in this race, you would expect. So Phil King breathing a sigh of relief to still be alive in this race at all. Not where he'd want to be at the moment, but in terms of the running order. But Adam Tice has still got to claw back a bit of ground. Sitting 7th right now as far as this championship fight is concerned. He's being passed by Matthew George there as well. He's back in 9th. Now, Tice is under position up the road. That's not enough to impact the championship at this stage. It's in favour of Tice. So Tice would almost have to. Well, actually, Adam, explain it to me. Would Tice have to DNF potentially here, or?
There's 60 points off us, so I think he's just got to get. Basically, Kingy really needs to get back to the front, and Tyson needs to be in the sort of the bottom end of the field somewhere. So Tyson needs to work his way back through and try and get as far towards the front to give himself a chance at getting this championship under his belt.
Gotcha. So King back to 8th. Still a long way to go. Adam Johnson off the road, 2nd time in this race. Trent Lavis up into 5th spot. And at the end of this lap, we might go for a ride with Trent if we can. Christian Koch punches out the fastest over the race, 209.942. That was Johnson going around, not for the first time tonight. Jeez. Matthew George now off the road as well. George is off the road. He's had a moment. He's got back going, but he's lost nearly 8 seconds on Jason Timon. Schultz has taken off, 1.7 to the good. Here's Phil Butler and Christian Koch arguing over the same piece of real estate. Koch and Butler, main battle on the racetrack at the moment. Right, let's go on board with... can we go on board with Trent? Can we do that, Adam? And get him to talk us through a lap of Road America? Net code for Adam Tyson, his incident with Phil King on lap 12. Hang on. That must have been in the previous race. Right. Let's go up across the start-finish line. Trent, we'll go for a ride with you, mate. And as you said, do your best.
I'll try and commentate where I go, but it's going to be difficult for me to hold the button. But just pluck in 6th gear down the front. Now we're looking for the second cone down the end here. Number 2 cone, first braking. Tipping it in nice and gentle, on the throttle nice and early, get a run down the hill here. And on the left here, I'm looking for the number 1 board on the left to start my braking. Really gentle off camber into here, a little bit wide, a bit late on the throttle there. Use all the curb if you can, and try and get a nice run down this back straight. A little bit too far behind to get any sort of tow, but I might give it a go anyway. 6th gear, winding her up. Now we're looking for our brake marker around about the number 2 board down the back here. Use a little bit of the curb to widen up the corner. Down to 3rd, tip it in, a little bit loose in the tail. Use all the exit curb, up the hill. Watching for this Corvette sign, very slippery here. Very off camber, gentle squeeze. 4th, up to 5th gear, flat out through this right-hander. Just coming down the hill, looking again, once again, the number 2 brake marker down here. Hard on the brakes. 3rd gear, gentle squeeze. Now winding it up around the sweeper. Not quite flat out, a little bit of a feather through the middle, keep it tight, and then pin it. And then use all the downforce that's available to you. Use all the road. Now I'm grabbing a bit of a tow. Let's see how we go here. Flat biggies through the kink. My favourite corner, not. And mega tow down the straight here. The thing's really winding up. So we're coming down here. We break around to the board number 2.5, 3-ish. Try not to hit the grass, Treno, and bomb into someone. But
Yes.
Squeeze it up, flat out through this left-hand kink here. Up over the crest, totally blind here. Now, really hard to find a brake marker over here, but round the number 2 board, widen up the corner, on the throttle nice and early, try and get a run on him. Got a nice run out of there, we'll shoot you how to use the tow. And that's the lap of Road America up over the hill.
And he's already punched out the fastest lap of the race as well, ladies and gentlemen. Very nicely done, my friend. 2:08.773. Across the line, down the inside of Watson. To 3rd goes T. Lavis. As Watson is relegated to 4th. Adam Johnson to 5th. Phil Butler on pit roads. Phil King's already been to pit road. And so too Matthew George and Robert Colbreth.
Obviously.
So the field is partially cleansed. Hello, Adam.
Obviously unofficial 3rd, given that Trent doesn't actually qualify for the series.
True. That is very true. And the commentary of the lap very well received by the audience tuning in at home as well. Great to have so many of you tuning in on a Tuesday night. Not a normal broadcast night for us these days. But it is terrific to have you on board and enjoying the last edition of Tuesday Night Motorsport for the season, remembering that the GT1 Civil War Grand Finale is next week from the Daytona International Speedway. 95 minutes worth of racing for the guys around there next week. And that got bumped to make way for the up-and-comers finale tonight. So whilst everybody else is planning Christmas and vacations, they're hard at work next Tuesday night. Now, updating you on the WBBL semi-final, the Eliminator. Winner plays on, loser goes home. Brisbane Heat taking on the Sydney Thunder. Thunder going along at 6 and over at the moment, but they need to up it. Their target is 170 off the 20 overs. At the end of the 8th, they are 1 for 46, needing 112. Actually, straight down the ground, that'll go for 6. So they make that 1 for 52, and they need 118 off 72 balls. A little around 9.83 and over. So big chase ahead there for the Sydney Thunder at the WACA tonight. There's the championship as it stands.
Ooh, we've had a change for 3rd.
Adam Tice has his hands on it at the moment. And we know that it'll take a lot to overturn that for Phil King. And the point that Adam Lavis is making is in relation to Aidan Schultz, that he has picked Philip Butler at the moment for 3rd in this fight. Philip Butler back to 4th in the championship fight at the moment if Schultz can complete the clean sweep here. And Schultz will go from 6th to 3rd on grand final night. Quite an achievement. Quite an achievement. $11 minutes gone. We're on lap 6. We anticipate a race distance of around 14 laps tonight. with this being a lap time of around 2 minutes 9. The lead pace for Aiden Schultz here, 2 minutes 9.1. So, I mean, I say 14 by 2 is 28. And then add the 10 seconds to that, you're going 30 minutes and, about 20 seconds. Throw in a pit stop as well. There will be some overtime tonight to the tune of about a minute. But we should get to 14 laps. So a big Tuesday night of sport across the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Tomorrow night, we've got some Downforce Legends racing first up. We've got the GT4 finale with thanks to Orbic Australia second up. Again, it's 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. So, that's just around lunchtime for those of you watching in the West. That will be from, I think, Road Atlanta for the Radicals, and then Mount Panorama for the GT4s. Aiden Schultz and Daniel Correa-Sar with you for the call. Our coverage from 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. Thursday night, we're back with you. Triple header Formula V, triple header Porsche. Sprint format, super sprint format. And it's a Thursday night motorsport like never before. 6 races around the gateway to hypothermia. 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. Hope you can join us for that. Down the main straight we go again. Aiden Schultz, the race leader, to the tune of 4.45 seconds, and he's just punched out the fastest number of the night. 2:08.666. Wow. Jeez. Great pace from Schultz. Extraordinary pace from Schultz.
Trent have to pull his finger out.
Absolutely. Oh, that's all right. Trent punched out a 2:08.7 with us in his ears, so I reckon he's still got time to find a little bit of speed. Oh, boy, oh boy, what a lap time from Schultz. Off goes Adam Johnson, third one of the night in this race alone. And that's the point. We know Johnson's got the pace. Round goes Robert Colbreth. He just makes too many blunders. But that's a sign of a guy that's trying hard, and we like that.
Robert's a great guy. He's still just trying to learn his way. He's just, still learning the ropes, so he's going to make mistakes while he's learning. That's what's part of it. But I
was talking about Adam Johnson, but you're right about you're right. It applies to Robert as well.
Johnson's the same as well. He's got Adam's got one of the most unwanted records in the club at the moment, which he's a bit embarrassed about with the I think it was 93 incident points in the men race. So
oh no, that's a fairly hectic night at the office. 14 3/4 minutes gone. We're almost at half race distance. There's the second place Tristan Koch on his way at the moment. When do the top end of town blink? Top 7 yet to stop. And Schultz is just taking off at the moment. Checking out to a 5 1/4 second lead here onto the main straight comes Tristan Koch. Along pit straight. Trent Lavis is 3 seconds down the right. Can he catch Tristan Koch here? That's what we've got our eyes on at the moment. Margin is 5 seconds. No change at the front. Adam Johnson to pit lane. Jason Tyman moves up to 5th. Adam Tice will move to 6th. We know that Phil Butler and Phil King have stopped. King is 2.6 seconds behind Butler. Corrected order will be interesting to see where those two fan out in the grand scheme of things as we continue on. Good effort from Tristan Koch tonight. Unlucky in that previous race, as we know. But for the most part, even though this race is fizzling somewhat Adam Lavis, it's been a very entertaining night. The up-and-comers have put on a very good show. And sometimes for the categories and for the drivers that don't necessarily get broadcast every week, like our GT4s, like our GT3s, but they usually try and bring their best to a broadcast night.
Well, yeah, the thing with the F4 is it's a very tricky car. It's a fairly high, I think probably a medium downforce car, but it's probably a bit more mechanical grip than downforce. But that being said, with the downforce it's got, it grips and then it comes to a cliff. So you basically got to use all the downforce you get, you've got, but you got to be mindful of where that edge is, because once you go over it, she snaps hard, which some of these boys are finding. So it is a bit tricky. It's easy to make mistakes in these things. But that's the thing. Like, we've got it spread out now. But the fact is, given how easy it is to make a mistake in this car, any one of these people could be brought back to somebody else at any point.
.259 at the whacker as well, ladies and gentlemen. So the Thunder have lost their second wicket, and they still need 111 with 65 balls to play. We continue on. We've got Adam Johnson here all over the back of Phil King. This is a live battle for track position, because we know that Kingies came in and stopped. We know that Johnson has as well. In come Timon and Tice to pit road. Where Tice fans out here in relation to King is what we're worried about. Up onto the main straight. King with a little bit of clear air is punching out 209 4s, 209 5s. Ticey was in the 12s last time around. He's still on pit road. King's going to get by here. King will get by Tice. Johnson goes with him. Tice is still on pit road. Simon's come back out. And King is now in position number 5. How good's the supported team King been throughout the course of the night? They're absolutely loving their Tuesday night motorsport. More audiences like that, Tuesday night motorsport might have to become a regular Guernsey. Back down the back straight we go. Have a look at Adam Johnson now down on the inside. He wants to throw his hat into the ring. Gets by Philip King to be the leader of those that have pitted. The field not yet cleansed. We're getting closer. Only Watson, Lavis, Kosh and Schultz to come in yet. What's your plan of attack here, Treno? Are you staying out there to try and win the thing, or?
I'll be in this lap. We'll see how we go. I think Schultze's got some really good pace up there. I got a little bit on him, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time to catch him.
Copy that. There's what it means for the championship as well. 850. Oh, no! Round. Cold breath again. Second time tonight that oncoming traffic has had to find a way by him. Stuck in the middle of the track. Schultz, Kosh, Lavis to pit lane at the end of lap 9. 5 laps to go, this time by the line. For our race leader, Aiden Schultz. 5 laps to run in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Adam Johnson, Phil King, Phil Butler. I'm not sure how far away from that top 4 these three that we were keeping an eye on are going to be. Johnson, King and Butler, because Schultz is already on pit road, has fueled up, has left his box, is back out on the racetrack. And unfortunately, Johnson, King and Butler are still coming around the final corner up onto the main straight. So there's going to be no change to the order there, I wouldn't imagine. The only person might be Watson. He might be in a little bit of trouble here as he now leaves his pit bay. Yep, they've got him. They should have him. On the run down to turn 1, no. Yes, around the outside. Very nicely done. So King up into 5th and Kosh is 4th. Tice is now all the way down in 9th place. But again, Ticey was the leader coming into this race with a good advantage up his sleeve. The margin's still 21 in favour of our commentary colleague. Sarah King makes a good point, actually. She could have a job as a pit reporter the way she's going. Schultze is putting the field to the sword in a very similar vein to what we would see from Max Verstappen. Geez, how good was that from Red Bull throughout the course of the season? 21 to 22 Grand Prix. Defeated once by Ferrari and once by weather, because the flood of the Emilia-Romagna region put pay to the San Marino round of the championship back in May. They were the only two things to beat Red Bull this year. Quite extraordinary. Schultze, Lavis, Kosh, Johnson and King, the top 5. Watson, Butler, Timon, Tice and George, the top 10. Colbreth's a lot down, but so far, 11 started, 11 still running. Final 8 minutes of the season. The Lobezy Racing up-and-comers on the platforms, the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Don't forget to join Schultze and Daniel Correa tomorrow night, the grand finale of GT4 and Downforce Legends. And do come back and join us on Thursday night as well, ladies and gentlemen, because Formula V has to be seen to be believed around Phillip Island. My goodness. There's some archival footage on the club pages with regards to me doing my my best work around Phillip Island with a 5-way fight for the lead on the last lap on 2 occasions. And if that's any indication as to what we're in for on Thursday night, my voice box might be in a little bit of trouble Friday morning. Which isn't good, because I do like a radio here in Ipswich on Saturday morning, as everybody knows. On West Brummer Sport. Final week of broadcasting for me this year, and I'm happy about that. Oh, no, there's Jason Timon. Jason Timon's front end is gone. And I don't think that car's going anywhere but the back of the garage. Timon's night is done. Oh, dear. It just hooked hard right and found concrete. Unlucky. Back to the front. The battle for 4th, Johnson and King. King would love 4th. I mean, he'll still fall short on Ticey in the championship fight, but he'd love 4th. A good fight back after that opening lap spin. These two are 12 seconds down on Tristan Kosh, who's 5 seconds down on T. Lavis, who is 5.7 seconds down on... Kosh is 3.1 seconds down on Lavis, and Lavis is 5.7 down on Schultz. Round the carousel one more time. You know that old saying, Adam Lavis, you saved the best until last. We probably should have had the 86s last. On the show tonight.
You never know what's going to happen. This is still a potential three-way battle about to happen. Yeah. So,
what I was trying to latch back on, which is good. And
as we've seen, we're being. My chat was making my spreadsheets go funny. So we see Johnson's leading this little group at the moment for effectively 3rd, when you take Trent out of the results. He's gone wide. I was about to say, he's made some mistakes in this car. So it's a matter of can he hold it on track. So he's still there with the reasons. He latch back on this toe and try and get back on the Kingy, but that's going to help Kingy out in the championship.
Trent Lavis, 208.207, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Kosh off the road. Tristan Kosh done. Tristan Kosh is out of business. Another one bites the dust. Have a look at this again. Philip King's going to jump onto the podium here. That is a heavy hit for Tristan Kosh. Oh, boy. Everyone moves up a spot as a result of that. Everyone's a beneficiary of the downfall of Tristan Kosh. And a chance gone begging for him. Now, we don't wish ill on anybody on grand final night, but that's the sort of incident for Adam Tice that would hand Philip King the championship here. But at the moment, it looks as though our commentary colleague has both hands firmly on it. Just going through the motions and just needs to bring it home in one piece. And he can do so by going at a moderate tempo. He doesn't have to push it here. Philip Butler's off the road. Halfway through that 12th lap, but he's got back on the track. Remains down in 6th. 7 seconds up the road from Adam Tice. Watson all over the back of Johnson, and Johnson trying to stay with King, but unable to do so. King's got breathing space here. Trent Lavis at 2:08, 2:07, the fastest lap of the race. And Schultze's 2 laps from home. We're 3.5 minutes away from time. 2 laps from home.
So it's tied up only 13 points at the top. It's only now 2 points in third place because with the cars falling off the grid, it's bringing Phil Butler back towards Schultze.
Yes. So 783 plays 781 and 857 plays 844. They're the 2 margins you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen.
And the only thing you can, like at the moment, I can't do the 0x bonus. So if anyone's got 0x's, they may get a little bonus point.
That's true.
That one I can't do until the end, but at the moment I can do fastest lap, so it's relatively close. So looking good.
So in the instance that Trent Lavis has the fastest lap, the bonus point will go to the driver that's part of the championship that can that has the fastest lap. Yes.
Yeah. Trent's out there on an exhibition lap, so he's not actually going to be counted for the results. So I was basically pop him out and work it out from there.
Right, so on those numbers, King would go up to second, Johnson to third, Watson to fourth, Butler to fifth.
Yeah, that's how I've calculated the points on the live timing.
Copy. So Trent Lavis out there running exhibition laps. I like it. Have a look at the fanfare going on in the comments at the moment. Imagine if something was to happen, Timo Glock style, on the final lap. The Kings will party for a week.
If something happened to Schultze, for example,
yep,
and somehow Kingy can get the lead here, that's 6 points. If he's on 0x, but I'm not sure he is, that's another 3 points. That's 9. And what was he? He was 13 behind, so he needs Tyson to fall down like 1 or 2 spots, and it's on.
I don't think, as a result of that lap 1 incident, I don't think he'll have a 0x, but that's okay. Party for a year, yeah. Well, it is the right time for it. The festive season kicking in, of course. That wonderful time of the year where you lose sight of what day of the week you're up to.
But what it is looking like is looking at that last lap mistake in the previous race could have been the difference between title and non-title if the way it is at the moment.
Yep. Oh, Johnson nearly put it in the dirt again. Main straight, white flag in the air, 1 to go. The season of up-and-comers almost at an end here. 10:15 Eastern Daylight Time on a Tuesday night. Johnson back to second. It's third on the road. It's second on points because we know the situation revolving around Trent Lavis. Johnson, spanner in the works to King's aspirations. King will look to find a way back down on the inside. Tyce's bringing it home in one piece at the moment. He's got 6.5 kilometres to go. Big Four, he is crowned champion at this point. Back we go. King back down the high side, the outside, through 4 and down to 5. Oh, boy. The pressure is on. King has done just about everything he can tonight. He's thrown everything at it. Had a deficit to overcome. Will fall just short. But what a title fight this has been. Oh, no! No, there goes King.
Oh, no.
Exactly the same as the opening lap. Exactly the same. He's come undone. He drops down to 4th. Watson goes up to 3rd. Johnson remains 2nd. And Schultze will come home for the triple treat, the hat-trick, the clean sweep on a Tuesday night. Lavis will be 2nd, but will be removed from the points situation, as we know, the distribution, the matrix, etc. But at the top end of town, there has been no stopping Aiden Schultz on the last Tuesday night of November. Checkered flag in the air, 3 from 3. Aiden Schultz finishes the season on a high, bows out of the up-and-comers in style. Second to Trent Lavis. He finishes with the fastest lap of the race, just quietly. The exclamation mark, if you don't mind. 2.3 the winning margin, 2:07.973. Johnson comes home 3rd, 2nd on points. And Watson in behind him. Phil King, a case of what might have been in 5th. 2nd race in a row where it's gone, can I say it yet? No, it's only 10:16. It's gone belly up on the last lap. Butler and Tice to come across the line now. Butler in for 6th. He was near or nearabouts in the championship as well, but there's your champion, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Adam Tice. He's flying under the radar most of the night and much of this race, and he gets the job done, ticks the box. Up-and-comers champion for Lobezy Racing in season 15 of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, Term 4 of 2023. Well done. Ticey's got a title. Hey, Trent, not bad for an arrive and drive.
Yeah, mate. These second time I think I've driven these things, but the boys, yeah, Silty's too quick at the start there, so well done to him for getting the W.
Indeed, and well done to you as well, mate. Not just backing the category, but also playing a role in there tonight. That's been good fun. And look forward to having Lobezy Racing involved both on and off the track again in 2024, buddy.
Yeah, mate. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to next season, and looking forward to seeing the next cohort of up and comers coming into the series next season.
Can you quite believe that 15 seasons on, we're still here doing this thing?
Oh wait, it's a good formula, and it just works. So there's no reason to get rid of it. So
no reason to get rid of it at all. Originally, remember the foundations of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club were COVID. I mean, we were literally lining up on a Friday night to cure our insomnia and insanity of the week that was. It was an escape from lockdown and everything else that life was throwing at us at the time, and yet post-COVID it survived and it continues to thrive.
That's exactly right, mate. It's a testament to all the committee members and staff, past and present, and obviously future as well, to keep the thing running and obviously kicking goals and doing a great job at it, including yourself, Zach.
No, mate, it's a pleasure to be here. Even on a Tuesday night when I would normally be tuned into the cheap seats on Network 10. Have a look at that. There you go, the doughies for Aiden Schultz. Victory is sweet in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. We will hear hopefully from our champion shortly. We will hear hopefully also from a few of the others that featured prominently throughout the course of the night. Bad luck for Tristan Koch. The fast repair cost him 3 minutes and 20 seconds. But at least he got back out there to finish it in 9th place. Here it is again, one of the defining moments of the night. End of that race. And we're watching Phil Butler here as well, hassling all the way through onto the back straight. Just waiting for there to be some sort of incident here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you haven't gone back to the start of the race. Sorry, I thought you were showing us a couple of replays of some incidents. No, my apologies.
I had to reset SDK, so I'm going to start the racing. I can get back. Hang on.
All right. Whatever works best for you, mate. I'm not worried. But there you go. Hey, well done to Trent, up 9 spots. Adam Johnson up 4, Aiden Schultz up 2. Tristan Koch down 7, unfortunately, in all of that. Great season, great racing. The up-and-comers continues to be a great breeding ground for up-and-coming GSRC talent and a great stage for these guys to shine on, and a great source of entertainment for them each and every week as well. And it continues to be just genuinely good, exhilarating competition. Tristan Koch standing on by. We have Aiden Schultz here as well. Trent Lavis has left the building. Schultzy, 3 from 3. Well done.
Yeah, thank you, mate. That was good.
I think that's the first time I've ever called a clean sweep for you.
Oh, yeah, probably the first time I've ever done one, to be honest. But all the boys are jumping down, mate, to have a chat with you. So have a chat with them first and then come back to me, mate.
I will indeed. We've got Adam Tice here. We've got Phil King here. We've got Tristan Koch here as well. Kochie's muted at the moment, so I'll get back to him in a moment. Let's go to Phil King, because I feel as though the entire King household is tuning in tonight, mate, to cheer you on. And it was a case of so near yet so far. You had a deficit to overcome to Adam Tice. You weren't able to do that tonight, but by gee, you gave it a fair crack. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. That was great fun. Full credit to the guys. They raced good. I brought the tribe, hoping I could put on a good show, but yeah, just too many mistakes, and the other guys were too good, so full credit to them. Thanks Pete to Trent and Lobezy Racing for putting it on, and obviously Ben for the race control, and all the guys who've helped out, including yourself, broadcast. Had absolute best time this season out of all the iRacing I've done over the last year and a bit, so really appreciate it.
Indeed, and just give us the Phil King story, mate. The sim racing background, as you say, it's the last year with the GSRC. But what brought you here in the first place, and what sim racing have you done beyond the club?
So yeah, it was just on officials, and then this is when I was living on the Gold Coast in Australia, and looking for some guys that I could actually learn a bit from and get a bit better. And then people recommended the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, so I joined that, and then I try a bit of the different things, the V8s, the Vs, and then obviously this, and yeah, I've learned heaps, so it's been great, and moved over to New Zealand now, and just love it. It's my favourite hobby at the moment, and yeah, I mainly just do the gentleman stuff and just keep trying to improve.
I was going to say, any real world racing background, or is it just purely sim racing, mate?
I've done some track days on motorbikes.
Yep.
A bit different, but yeah, no real racing. Obviously some go-karts just for fun, but yeah, nothing proper. I'd love to, but this is a bit cheaper.
I like that we've got a two-wheel convert here. I really like that, because we often say that they're the bravest people in sport, motorcycle riders. So great to have you on board, and even more so across the ditch. I mean, what a long night it's been for you guys over there. Into Tuesday morning. Oh, sorry, into Wednesday morning we go now, obviously. And what I have to ask you with regards to tonight's racing, let's go back in the direction of where we came, if you don't mind. You had three different cars out there. You had great pace in all three cars. Which one was your favourite?
Yeah, good question. I feel like the Mazda, because I enjoy sliding it around, and it's probably not my best car, but I do, it's just a fun car to drive, and I like the racing's always close, and I think the first half of that race was really great fun, because it was a lot of guys door to door for quite a bit. Yeah, I think the Mazda was great, but then again the 8-6, the second race there, towards the end of that, the finish was great. There were four guys, I think, right on that last lap. It was also great.
Absolutely, mate. And what about the juggling act, and getting your head around the Mazda first, then the Toyota second, and then the Formula 4 third? I mean, we should point out to the audience at home that, we picked up the championship last week with the Formula 4 round, but you guys have had experience in all three cars throughout the course of the season. That's why we've ended with this super sprint format, if you like, where we jump from one car to the other. But how do you, it's one thing to get your head around it when you got a week in between rounds, as you did between the transition phase in the championship from the FIA Formula 4 back to the Toyota, back to the Mazda, etc. But to do it inside 30 minutes of qualifying, how did you handle that tonight?
Yeah, no, you're right. They all handle so differently. Like the getting out of the little light Mazda and then into the the tail heavy Toyota, and then back into the light open wheelers there, which you can brake a lot later and turn in a lot and get on the gas a lot earlier there. Good fun. It's again, I really like the Gentleman Sim Racing, because just how much you learn from having to do 3 cars in a row after the end of the season, getting used to them. I think you learn heaps from it. So yeah, it's great.
Certainly keeps you on your toes, there's no doubt about that. But we, as a club, I think one thing we've prided ourselves on over 15 seasons now is that versatility. So to give you guys an opportunity to be versatile yourself, was a nice thing to be able to do tonight. Now, and a nice challenging test as well, no doubt. Just jumping in to go around the grounds here quickly, folks. Inside 5 overs left of that WBBL fixture at the Whack-Up. The Thunder are 5 for 97. It's starting to fall apart for them. They need 73 runs to win in 29 balls. So it looks like the Heat will go on tomorrow night to take on the Scorchers at the Whack-Up for a spot in the final against the Strikers on Saturday night at the Adelaide Oval.
You can kind of put the up and comers. It's a bit like a school semester. You get three modules throughout the semester, and at the end of the semester, you got to test on all 3 of it. So you got to pass your test at the end to get through.
Absolutely. Now, with regards to you, Phil, what's next, mate? I mean, obviously, up and comers. You've ticked that box. You've got second in the championship. What's next?
I mean, I'll keep cracking away. I really like any of the slower cars. I'm not that good in the GT3s or anything quicker, but definitely whatever they put on next season that's a bit slower, I'll for sure keep doing it and keep learning. And probably with that also, I'd like to thank my long-suffering wife who lets me race away almost every night or every second night, and never has a problem with it. And then thanks also for the fam for tuning in, and I think they get a kick out of it too. They love the live broadcast that you guys do. That's good. And then probably the last thing too, thanks to all the guys. They're a great bunch of guys to race with. I mean, I've ever heard these guys lose it at each other. It's great. If we make a mistake, no one gets torn up about it. So a lot of fun with them.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Congratulations. We'll let you go, considering that it's now 12:30 over there. Go and celebrate with the fam, mate. They said there were 2 comments made. When we were talking about championship aspirations, I suggested the party might go for a week. They said a year, and that quickly became tears. And crying for a year instead, waiting for you to seek redemption next season. So you can go and console them. Well done. Thanks for the entertainment throughout the course of the night.
Time for a drink. Thanks, gentlemen. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
And all the best for Christmas as well. And thanks to Team King for tuning in throughout the course of the night. Let's move on here and go to Tristan Kosh, if I may. Koshy, running a lonely third, unimpeded, going along nicely, and all of a sudden, turn 2 bites hard.
One word, dirt.
Yes.
I'm going to take up dirt racing next season. That's what I'm going to, dirt.
I think that's a fair call. That was unlucky, mate. A sad way to finish. I mean, you got back out there. You finished on the lead lap, sure, but to finish 7 positions down on where you started when it looked like you had third in the bag. There's the defining moment. Just a little bit of dirt crunch gone there, a canoe. And 3 minutes 20. That's a long time, isn't it, to be stuck in pit lane, waiting to get back out there and wondering what might have been.
Absolutely. Just what can I say? Completely. Once that happened, I put my head in my hands and just walked away, so to speak.
Exactly. Put it into perspective. Obviously, the championship standings, we'll have them up on screen in just a moment. You end up, I think, 6th with Adam Johnson there. There it is. Yep, locked on points with Adam. So it's equal 5th. And really, I mean, had you been able to keep it on the black stuff, that would have been outright 5th. So you were unfortunately hamstrung by that, but still, you put a good season together and secured a top 5 finish, mate.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. As I said, buckets and sand next time. But yeah, I'm happy with 5th. And well done to everybody else that was in this up and comers. Fantastic racing from everybody, and it was just awesome.
All right, mate. What's next for you? When do we see you next on the GSRC platforms?
GT1 next week.
Nice. A little bit of overtime to put the full stop on the season, mate?
Yes, and the last of the... get around it. The 992s at Phillip Island.
We'll see you there. I cannot wait. I'm very excited about Thursday night. 3 races in Formula V, and if I've still got a voice left after that, 3 races in the Porsche as well. It'll be terrific. And that's it. Interesting, actually. We're plodding around in these slower cars tonight. A big change of pace when you jump in those GT1 cars.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Braking markers coming quick, and you've got to hit those braking markers, or you're completely somewhere else.
Absolutely. All right, go well at Daytona next week in that, and we'll see you Thursday night.
Yep. And thank you very much again.
Pleasure. Let's rock and roll here and go to Adam Tice, our champion in the up-and-comers. Tice, you couldn't have gone about that any quieter in the third race. You knew what you had to do. You went out there, you ticked the box. The job is done, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Zach. I'm pretty emotional, actually. It sounds a little bit silly, but yeah, I just wanted to. I can't beat the 2 Phils on pace, and so I just thought, well, maybe if it was close enough, I could keep my 0Xs because you get the bonus points, and that might have. So I kind of stood out everyone's way in the last race, and I was happy with that. So, but yeah, Zach, yes, it's a little silly, but yeah, I deal a bit with self-doubt.
Yep.
On a personal level, and sorry about that. Yeah, it's been a awesome season.
Certainly has, mate. And I can hear the emotion coming through, and so can everybody at home. They'll know that this means something. And that's the point, isn't it, mate? I mean, at the end of the day, there are so many positives to come out of everything that we do here. Yep, I can say it because we're past 10:30. To a lot of people on the outside, it might look like we're just here for shits and giggles, but we're not. You know, this is a community. It's a family. We go racing. Sure, we're not racing for the big bucks, but to put 10 weeks together, it means something, doesn't it? When the reward is that you can say, I've got a championship to show from the hard work, my effort, and in your case, as you just said there, when you were talking about Phil Butler and Phil King, consistency, mate, and that wins championships more times than not.
Yeah, it does, and things went my way, of course. The couple of the Phils couldn't do every race. I was fortunate enough to be able to do every race, but I thought my drop rounds might have penalised me a bit because I think I had the biggest amount in drop rounds. But the guys are just really great to race with, and we always want to put on a good show. We have a good laugh in the Discord, and it's a real big family, actually. And you're right, Zach. The club is a community, and I started out in GSRC just a little bit back, and felt very welcome. And so, like, I would never place anywhere in any other series, and that's just my skill, and I'm okay with that. But I thought, the up and comers is the place where if you are wanting to learn and wanting to, test your wares against, some really good guys, then that's the place to be. And I felt very welcome, and it's just a really professional outfit. So just thanks to everyone, particularly Trent for sponsoring it, and Ben for organising an RC, and Aiden for helping it in there as well. And just, it's just a really, really, I'm really privileged and honoured to be a part of the club. And I'm pleasantly shocked that I could get P1.
And just to put in perspective, how the kind of character and upstanding person Ticey is. This afternoon, when I was just making sure I had commentators, Ticey actually put his hand up to come and do commentating, and I said, "No, mate, you got a championship to go win. You go out there and win that. You're off the list. Go out there and do it." And he's done it. And congratulations, mate. Good work.
Yeah, thanks, Mav, and that's. And that's that meant a lot to me, to be honest with you. Like I was happy to. I really was happy to commentate because we can be a little bit short sometimes, and that's okay. I like to serve people and serve the club as best I can. I'm not the greatest. I'm nowhere near Zach Caben class of commentating, but but for Adam to to write that was like, oh, this is a real awesome community.
Yep, and to be honest, I knew the call was coming last night, Ticey. I had avoided platforms like the plague throughout the course of the weekend, but I knew that the call was coming last night from Adam Lobezy saying, "Can you help with comms tonight?" And he said, "Road America." I said, "Sold. Sign me up. I'm in." And not disappointed with what we've seen tonight either, mate. And to be fair, you had a relatively quiet third race in the Formula 4, but you were right in the thick of it in the first two.
Yeah, I fortunately had that mishap in race 1 in the Mazda, and I actually thought, oh well, this might be it, and that's okay. And then really good battle. Phil King and I have battled a bit through the season, and he's just a very, very, very fair racer, and we always want to make sure we leave each other room. And I think it was the last lap there. I coming into the right-hander, I went too far over on the left because I was concentrating on a car in front of me. I didn't realise Phil was there, and we made a bit of contact. But so I was in the Discord chat to Ben on RC saying, "Mate, I'm happy to redress that if that's totally my fault, because I want to pride myself on character and integrity, and that's what the club is about too." And but Ben kind of looked at it and he said, "No, it's all okay. It was netcode," and Phil was good with it. And it's just it's really awesome to race with guys like Phil and Aiden and Phil Butler and Tristan and Jason's come on board as well. So this season, I think. So it's been I'm a bit I'm a bit of a sook tonight, but no, it's all good.
No, you're allowed to be, mate. We love the passion. We love the emotion. It's part of what the Cape is all about. Winning means different things to different people. Some people, they can't wipe the smile off the face, and then for others, you just sense that relief and that satisfaction. And the pressure's off. There's so many different emotions running through you right now. We're feeling that, even though we're not in the same room. We are in the same room. We can hear it. We know that it means a lot to you, mate. So well done on that. And I think I want to just bring in Aidan Schultz and Trent Lavis at this point in time, and Adam Lavis too. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? It means different things to different people. It is such it's such a nice thing to be here and to hear what it means to Ticey. And it kind of comes back to the point we made at the start of the night, Trent, that these guys aren't the Denchies of the world, and they're not racing around at the top end of town necessarily in some of our other servers. They're here for fun. They're here to improve their skill set. For Ticey, it's a little bit of reassurance and a boost to the confidence and push out that self-doubt. There are so many positives to come from this series, and it's been one of the backbones, one of the cornerstones of the club for 15 seasons now.
Yeah, exactly right, Zach. That's exactly what the purpose of this series is to give an opportunity to those that don't often get a chance to jump in the sim and practice their wares as much as some of the top guns like the Denchies and co at the top end of the club. So yeah, and all power to the people that can actually come through the series and succeed, because the racing is just that type of quality and the pace. Everyone is just so closely contended. Cars do mix things up a little bit with different driving styles, but that's how you learn. That's how I've learned with my racing career, is having the ability to jump in lots of different cars, and it does an absolute wonder to your driving ability across the board. So grab it with both hands, and it's always good to see the people enjoy it as well.
Schultz, do you want to chime in here?
Yeah, mate, I'm a little bit taken back, to be honest, with everything that's been said.
Yep.
I'm taken back. I'm absolutely proud of Ticey. Of course, I wish I would have contested more rounds and been able to be up there to fight him, but at the end of the day, it couldn't have gone to a better champion, mate. So Ticey, mate, from me and everyone at Gentleman Sim Racing Club, you fully deserve this, and mate, go home and enjoy it with the family. So obviously it was a good night for me tonight, but let's not take away from the top 3 in the championship, or I think I got 3rd, but let's not take away from Ticey and Phil, and let's talk about all them tonight, because mate, Ticey did a great job, and it's a well-deserved championship, mate, and well done.
Indeed. No, well done to Ticey on behalf of all of us here, mate. And there's the championship standings again in the right-hand side of your screen, folks, and it does show that Schultz got the job done by the barest of margins over Phil Butler there in the battle for 3rd, and we'll hear from Phil in just a moment. We've got Jason Tierman standing by as well, and Adam Johnson. To finish with you, though, Ticey, what's next? Now that you've conquered up-and-comers, what's next? Obviously, we've got 8 weeks off over Christmas, New Year. We'll take some time away from the sim rig, no doubt. We'll reconvene the end of January. What have you got your eyes on as far as the GSRC platforms are concerned in 24?
Oh, geez. I'm not sure. Well, yeah. Time is a little bit limited at the moment. But so Tuesday's really the only night I can race regularly. So it's probably up-and-comers again, but, and fill in with commentary where I can. But I've got a rare Thursday night off this week, so I was thinking of jumping in the V's. But the last time I jumped in the V's at Phillip Island, Zach, you were live streaming, and I accidentally collected Tony Baker coming down the main straight. You blew a valve somewhere along the line, and so I'm a little bit apprehensive to jump in. But look, I'll see what it is. See what happens, but it's likely to be GSRC again. And if it's not racing, we'll hopefully be able to put some commentary together at some stage.
You are most welcome in the commentary box anytime you like, mate. And I was going to say the other thing too, and we should say this, is that it didn't have to be you and Tony Baker. It could have been any combination of people, and I would have blown a valve at Phillip Island, especially in the V's. It does happen more often than not. I'm so excited for Thursday night. It is going to be bloody awesome. Yeah, no, well done, mate. From all of us here, congratulations on all of that. Go and soak it in and enjoy it. And obviously, now that you are an up-and-comers champion, I'm pretty sure you get punted out of up-and-comers. Now you've got to go and ply your trade elsewhere. Is that how it works, Adam Lavis? That's how it used to work.
Not as necessarily now. With the like that was sort of more back when there was a lot more people coming into the sim. In COVID, it was a lot of fresh faces, whereas now there's a lot more people. It's sort of more people honing their craft more than new people. It's more of a 50-50 mix. So it's more based on where you are in your pace journey, to whether you're still in that window to be in the class, or whether if you've got to that point where you're starting out class the guys, then that's when it's probably time to move on and start applying your trade in the more regular series of the week.
Because I know that Schultz made comment earlier in the night that this was going to be his last hit out and up-and-comers. So we're losing one at least. It'll be interesting to see if your I rating's still there for you next season, Ticey. If not, and if it is, you get the chance to wear the number 1 in here. So that's a rare treat.
I might see if I can also put do one of my liveries, put maybe Max Verstappen on the side of the car. Is that okay? Or with a number 1?
More than welcome to. More than welcome to.
I'd like to. No, definitely won't be doing that. But yeah. Look, and for anyone listening that's thinking about racing, this is the series to get into, and everyone's welcome. We all have a good laugh, and geez, I've done it probably for a year now, and it just gets quicker and quicker. So yeah, it's a real testament to the club, and again, thanks to the club and you guys are putting on tonight, and yeah, it's just a real privilege to be a part of this club and to be able to contribute in a small way.
I know, mate. Congratulations again. Congratulations on your performance throughout the course of the night, doing what was required to get the job done in the championship, and all the best for Christmas and the New Year as well.
Yeah. That's I echo those thoughts. Everyone, God bless everyone over the New Year. Please stay safe, and we look forward to racing with you next season.
Ladies and gentlemen, up-and-comers champion Adam Tice, well done. Time's getting away from us here, boys. 11:15 Eastern Daylight. Quickly updating the cricket. 4 balls to go. Thunder are going home, 46 runs shy of the target, and they're 8 for 124. With 3 balls to go, you're not getting near the 170 required. So the Heat will play the Scorchers tomorrow night in the qualifier to see who takes on the Strikers in the WBBL final, that should be, on Saturday night. And, of course, the AFLW Grand Final on Sunday. So a big weekend for the women on the sporting front. And then, of course, the international men's summer of cricket gets underway not long after that. Then the tennis. And then we're back in business at the end of January. That was brilliant from Adam Tice. For everything that we talk about on these platforms about what it means to different people to be a champion, that was one of the more humbling speeches I think I've ever heard on these platforms over 15 seasons. So well done to Adam Tice. Let's press on here. Phil Butler, let me bring you in at this point in time. You finished 6th in that final race. An interesting night at the office, but not without its moments, mate.
Oh, it was a hard night, this one. I'd like to thank Lobezy Racing for sponsoring the series and allowing us to do this and to get some coverage, and it's been fantastic. I'd like to thank Adam and Phil and Schultze for their efforts and taking the podium spots on the championship. That's been really good. But I had a mixed bag today, and I've been in pain since about lap 7 of the first race. I just kept cramping up, and it's been horrible. But in saying that, couldn't keep the F4 under me there in that last race. Just too many little mistakes on the night to get the job done. But I've had an absolute ball. I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's been a fantastic first season, and it's been great. Really glad I was given the idea to join and to come and play with you guys.
So, how quickly have you been able to, once the checkered flag waved and the third race was done, have you been able to sort the cramping issues out or not?
Oh, it's I'm just in pain now. The cramps have gone. It's just that afterglow of where the cramp was. It just burns.
The muscle fatigue.
So,
yeah.
The muscle
and to be
fatigue.
fair, it has been a fair slog for you guys tonight, sitting in the rig for upwards of 3 hours here.
Yeah, well, I've been getting up. I stood up during the. I was standing up in my rig during the tyre, like the fuel stops. It was not great. Like I spent all day standing in one position with a grinder today, so I don't think that kind of contributed very positively to tonight's action.
No, but and that's another thing. You just never know when issues are going to arise or arise, or drama's going to strike, or trouble, because we've had people fall sick on the cusp of racing. We've had people cramp up. We've had people racing with just out of medical procedures and the like. And on that note, hello to Greg Padgett, because it was great to see him on the back of all his medical woes back in the rig tonight, as it was last week as well. You just never know what sort of circumstances you're going to be presented with on any given night, Phil.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like you sit here and you're sitting in your sim rig and you're having a good time and all's well and good. But you still have like those sorts of things that can affect real drivers. Like you look at Mark Webber throwing up in his helmet while doing an F1 friggin' race. Like people get sick and aren't able to aren't able to thing.
As soon as you said cramps, my first thought was David Reynolds, Bathurst a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'd actually forgotten about that. But it's all good. I've had an absolute ball. I wouldn't have thought that I would have been kind of in contention anyway. It was a bit of a surprise type thing looking at the standings 2 weeks ago and going, hang on, what's going on here? How did I end up there? But yeah, no, I've had a great time, and it's a wonderful group of people.
It is slightly, though, just a little bit disappointing for you, no doubt, to have missed out on second by 2 points there in the end. Oh, sorry, third, I should say.
Look at tonight's thing. I had, I think it was 2 incident points in race 1, 3 incident points in race 2. What's that?
There's the difference.
6 points.
Yep.
Something like that. So there's the difference. Not being, as I said, not being able to keep either the 86 or the F4 under me. So I dropped spots in that. Where am I? So I finished 8th in race 2.
Yep.
So not a great day in that thing today.
No.
Pretty much Phil doing Phil things. It's been a bit of a trait through this competition, where I seem to qualify well, start towards the front, and either with help or without help, I manage to find myself at the back and have to work my way through. So it is what I do. But so in saying that, I'm not that disappointed. Because I'm just having a good time. Disappointed that we're here and being competitive. I don't think any of us would be doing this if we didn't have that little bit of a competitive streak. But it's also good for our mental health.
100%.
So just getting there and pretending that we're a Wing-Cup or a Winterbottom or a Schumacher or Dale Earnhardt or whatever. It's all good, wholesome fun that kind of keeps us from being down at the pub, I suppose, because we can't afford it. Because we spend all our money on sim gear.
Actually, you've just made a good point. I think normally when I sign off on any given weeknight, I go and watch Home and Away. Tonight it's Home and Away in the cheap seats. I've got enough time to crack open a coldie here at home and just kick back and relax. You've just inspired me to combine pub life and home life. I like it. What's next for you, mate? What's coming up as far as your racing commitments are concerned, and how do you attack Christmas and the New Year period? Do you walk away from the sim rig for a little while, or not?
I'm in a truck league on a Saturday night, so I'll be honing my skills, learning how to drive in circles in a counterclockwise direction.
Yep.
I've got GT4 tomorrow night, is it? That'll be the last race. I may do the Downforce Legends, because I do like the SR8. It's a fun car to drive. But yeah, I'm basically doing some officials and try and gain some I rating, try not to lose too much I rating. Safety ratings. I like safety rating because it allows me to drive whatever I want, whenever I want.
Yeah.
Type of thing. I know that I rating that's king, friggin' that tells everyone how quick you are, but yeah, it doesn't help if I want to drive like an A class thing and I've got a B class license.
No, that's true. That's very true.
So So it comes down to what I like. I really like GT3. I've had a pretty good run in GT3 this season. I've finished 12th in the AM, tied with Schultze on points. So
yep,
we've been close. There must be something there. Probably while we're teammates.
I'm going to leave it there with you, Phil. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Good luck for what's left for the rest of the week, mate, and all the best for the festive season as well. Well done tonight.
You too. Thank you very much, and thank you for your efforts. Friggin' been absolutely fantastic.
We've enjoyed it immensely, and I'm sure you have as well. It's interesting. Phil used the phrase "Phil doing Phil things." Let me bring in Adam Johnson at this point in time, because you did Adam things throughout the course of the night, and there was a Max Verstappen reference in there somewhere earlier in the piece as well from somebody else, and that was attributed to Schultze and the way he was leaving the field behind tonight in different patches and aspects, be it the race 1 win or the early stages of Formula 4 before Trent Laver started reeling him in. In saying that, Adam, yep, you saw the grass a fair bit tonight, mate, but you finished with a podium finish in the Formula 4. Well played.
I was actually quite surprised. Usually the Formula 4 in this series is the one that I spin it the most in. I push too hard and lose the rear. I was quite surprised because I had the pace, like obviously not Schultze's pace, but was moving through the field all right. And then obviously people going off and it all fell into place. But yeah, came out with a good result.
Indeed, you did, mate, and good pace as well. I mean, not the pace of Lavis and Schultz. No one was really able to go with those guys in the end. But to finish what was an otherwise frustrating night on a strong note, that's a nice way to put the full stop on the campaign, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Like, yeah, just coming out with going, yeah, the race has gone quite well. But even the other races where I always do slightly dumb things and put it on the grass and spin, like that's pretty much me the whole year. So you just deal with that, and it's not even, you don't even get upset at this point. You just keep trying harder and try and do it less often.
Fair bit of drift work going on in that Formula 4 as well. As evidence on the replay just now. To finish 5th on points, equal 5th that is with Tristan Koch rather. That must sit well with you, given what you said there earlier about this car usually being your Achilles heel.
Yeah, I think that's pretty indicative of how I've gone all year. Raced all the races, and that's about it. Like, I rack up a lot of instant points because I keep going off. So I think that's a pretty solid result for the season.
Actually, Adam Lavis may or may not have dobbed you in on that statistic earlier. Actually, we believe you hold a record for incident points in one particular league within the club.
Yes, and I don't think I'm ever going to forget about that after Mountain Men, that race. That was pretty bad.
I'm glad you dobbed yourself in. I wasn't going to say it, but yes. Mountain Men, looking forward to having you back at some point down the line as well, I'm sure. What's next for you, mate? I'm looking at the clock. It's 11 o'clock. Everybody's about to rock and roll out of here. But before we do, we've got to get to Jason and we've got to get to Aiden. But what's next for you, mate, as far as grand final week's concerned? And then obviously tools down over the summer and reconvene for 24.
I'll try the IndyCar on Friday night and throw me a hat in the ring for Mountain Men again on Saturday night, and then that's probably me done for the year.
Yep, me as well. Any particular category you got your eye on for next year?
I don't mind GT3 and the supercars on Monday night. That was always good. It's just that I understand that I'm at the back of the AM, but I'm cool with that. Just keep getting better.
And that's all you can. That's all you can do, mate. And that's another point, you know. And I say it all the time with circuit racing. I did it over on the West Coast with the XL Nationals recently. You got some people out there gunning for victory each and every week, and then some people that know that's just a bridge too far at this point. But it's something you persevere with, you chip away at, you work at, and look on the podium in the final race of the up and comers for you, and in the top 5 of the championship. So The results are there. It's just about stringing the results together week in, week out.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a challenge every week, and at some point I might conquer it, but probably not. It'll be a lifelong endeavour, I think.
100%.
It might be a consolation prize, but for a stat for the season is you did get second points overall for the 86s. So as far as the 86 mini championship was concerned, you came runner-up.
The championship within a championship. Yeah.
It feels good. Means I'm starting to get somewhere.
Yeah. Well, bring back an 86 championship. That might be right up your alley, right in your wheelhouse. Adam, well done, mate. Congratulations. Thanks for the entertainment throughout the course of the night. Enjoy the rest of grand final week, and good luck for the festive season.
Thanks, guys. I just want to say great work to Tyson for the championship.
Absolutely. No, I don't think anyone here will take anything away from Tyson with regards to that championship win. A worthy champion and a universally liked champion as well. So well done to Tyson. Let's get to Jason Tierman here. Last but not least, because Schultze said to leave him until later on in the piece after we've already spoken to everybody else. So I'll get back to my commentary colleague in just a moment. But before we go any further, let's have a chat to you, Jason. Not the result you would have been hoping for there, mate. Down 4 spots in that third and final race on where you started on the grid. You had good pace in the Formula 4, but an incident along the way and a couple of transits down the lane didn't help.
Yeah, probably the biggest weakness that I've had all year has been race starts. Trying to sort of stay out of everyone's way, I guess, on it, and not being aggressive enough. Definitely... yeah, kind of been the MO this year, unfortunately, but something that I'm trying to work on. But yeah, no, it's a bit of a bogey track for me as well. I think I've only done 1 official in it. And then, yeah, got a few practice laps in tonight. But yeah, no, still enjoyed the racing regardless. Like I joined a couple of rounds into the year, or into this season, sorry. And yeah, just absolutely loved it every week. It's been the highlight of my week. Every week, and it's just such a pleasure though to race with such good guys, and congratulations to Tyson, of course, and Phil and Schultze, and yeah, it's been wonderful.
Indeed it has. Now talk to me through the night that was. Hopping, skipping, jumping from car to car. How'd you find that delicate juggle?
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. The most racing that I've done in the Mazda 5s has been in here, really. Yep. And then, yeah, but the 86 definitely presented its own challenges as well. A bit different on the braking, I found. I prefer the Formula 4s, which it was nice to slot into them because it's been a while. I missed last week. But so the last time I did one was Suzuka. But yeah, it was a good challenge. It was a fun challenge as well. Really sort of, made you have your eye on the ball for the whole night because each car was so different.
Indeed it was. But at least you weren't getting having to get your head around different racetracks as we went. At least we gave you the same the playground for all 3 races. Tell us a little bit about the Jason Tierman story and how you got into to be involved in the GSRC, mate, and your sim racing background prior to that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. I actually saw, I was just scrolling through Reddit one day and looking at, because I'd always wanted to join a league. Like I've only been sim racing for probably 9 months or so, and played a couple of other platforms, but discovered iRacing, and saw on Reddit one day that someone recommended that the GSRC was the place to be with it, and took a punt. When I had a free night and joined up, raced Oran Park. That was my first race of the year, and loved it. Everyone was super welcoming, and pretty much kicked off from there. Apart from that, though, I do a few officials every now and then when I can. But this is definitely where I prefer to race. Like, it's great racing. It's a good laugh, all the boys having a good laugh in Discord and whatnot. It's been a wonderful experience and can't wait to come back next year.
And we can't wait to have you back next year either, mate. Well done on all of that. I had the feeling, I had an inkling you were a relatively new member of the GSRC family. So nice to see that it's not just that you're a new member of the GSRC family, but you're a new member of the community of sim racing at large in this country. Go well for the off season, mate. We look forward to seeing you back on our servers next year.
Thanks very much, and quick thanks to Lobezy Racing as well for sponsoring the series, and Ben, all the work that he's done with race control and giving us tips around the track as well like that. And thanks so much for you guys as well for putting in the work to commentate tonight. And thanks so much everyone at the club. Really enjoyed it. Have a good New Year, everyone.
Enjoy. We'll see you on the track next year, mate. Go well.
Thank you.
From Jason, let's go to Schultzy to put a full stop on this one and finish it off. That's the great thing about the up-and-comers, Schultzy. No bruised egos, no one with their knickers in a twist. Everyone all smiles and happy at the end of the night.
Yeah, mate, exactly. It's been good and humbling to hear everyone in the background. Ben's put a lot of effort into the background of this series. I was doing it with him, and we were, but he's done all the hard work. So, from my perspective, I wish I didn't miss a couple of rounds and probably could have progressed, and because I won't be racing next year in the up-and-comers to try and get the championship, and probably could have, should have, would have, but mate, it was good, and good to see the boys up there, and I second what everyone said tonight. They're absolute true gentlemen, and the racing that we put on, hopefully it showed on the broadcast. I'll be sure to go back and look at it. But tonight was a good night from my perspective, but I'm not going to take away from Ticey. It's his night tonight, and he's the champion, mate.
Indeed he is. You won the round, he won the championship, and that's all she wrote as far as the up-and-comers are concerned. I'll echo what everybody else has been saying. Big thanks to Adam Lavis for the effort he puts in with the broadcast here, and not just Adam. I mean, he lays the groundwork, the foundations for everybody else to provide a broadcast for us. So the likes of Sam Chapman and Grant Gill, and the list goes on. Daniel Correa-Sarr, who I'll be working with on Thursday night, and Schultz will be working with tomorrow night as well. Ben was in here momentarily, as was Greg Padgett earlier. We didn't get a chance to have a chat to them before they departed. Trent's already gone as well, but a big thanks to our race controllers like Benny. Thankless job at times, but someone's got to do it to ensure a fair playing field. Thanks to Trent Lavis for giving back to the community of sim racing, whilst also still being involved in real world stuff as well as sim stuff. For getting around what has been a cornerstone of this club for so long. And also, of course, big thanks to the club for continuing to facilitate the series and give them the entree slot on a Tuesday night. Schultzy, it would be remiss of me not to ask you about tomorrow night before we let you go, and your thoughts on the Downforce Legends and GT4.
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate. Can't wait. Downforce Legends been a great series so far. We'll see. Aiden Schwerkart's been up there or thereabouts, and we'll see where he goes. Obviously, there's a couple of hard hitters there as well as we run into the final round. So looking forward to that. And then we go GT4 racing around Mount Panorama Bathurst. So a 60-minute race there. That's going to be good. Looking forward to that and having a chat with my mate Daniel and see how we go. So looking forward to that one, and then you'll see me back in the driver's seat for the V's and the Porsche Cup on Thursday. So looking forward to that. But yeah, mate, it was a great night at the office from me driving tonight. I'm actually really stoked, to be honest. That's the first time I've actually got 3 wins in a row. So, but looking forward more, first and foremost, tomorrow night, GT4s and the Downforce Legends. Tune in here on the Gentleman Sim Racing Club streams, wherever you are, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. And you'll hear myself and Daniel Correa-Sarr bring all the action. But Zachy, mate, thank you for everything you've done this year on the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, mate. Done a great job, and we look forward to the 2024 season.
Cannot wait. And thank you to you as well, mate, for coming on board and taking a little bit of weight off my shoulders and joining the broadcast crew throughout the course of the season. I know how much you're enjoying the racing side of things within this club, and now, of course, you're getting the best seat in the house when you're not on track as well. So good luck with that tomorrow night. And I don't want a phone call from anybody tomorrow night saying, Schultzy's been bailed up on the M1, can't get home. We need a commentator at short notice because it's the home and away season finale tomorrow night. It's a triple episode, and I'm not picking up the phone for anyone. So,
Mate, I won't interrupt you home and away.
No, I appreciate that greatly. There's a reason I took Wednesday nights off the... No. Good on you, mate. Thank you. We'll put a full stop on this, ladies and gentlemen, by saying a big thanks to not just Trent Lavis, but also all the other great sponsors on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and they include Waste Options, Sprayton Ciders, Holbeck Australia Login Systems, Player One Sim Gear, Lobezy Racing, M-Wave Australia, and Flash Graphics. There's the agenda. There's the lay of the land for what's to come. So week 11 on a Tuesday night, you'll head to the Daytona International Speedway on the road course there for a 95-minute head out for the GT1 Civil War. That is next Tuesday night, December 5, 8:40 Eastern Daylight Time. Race starts. I don't think there's a broadcast for that one, ladies and gentlemen, but we wish the GT1 contestants all the very best. As far as the broadcast agenda is concerned and the schedule, there it is for you. Tomorrow night, Aiden's already run you through Road Atlanta. That'll be well worth the price of admission. 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time. 2 sprint races there for Downforce Legends, final round of their championship, followed by the Holbeck Australia GT4 Challenge from Mount Panorama Bathurst, over 60 minutes. And if what we saw there the other night in both supercars and GT3 is anything to go by, you're in for a treat. That will be well worth turning up for. You won't want to miss it. Thursday night, lock yourself in and strap in on the lounge, 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time, and don't move for the next 3 hours, because Thursday night is the hottest ticket in town, ladies and gentlemen, as it is every time Formula V leads us off. The main course on Thursday night is a triple treat of Formula V from the Gateway to Hypothermia, the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. We crown a champion on Thursday night. We cannot wait. 2 15-minute races after the opening 10-minute installment, and they are coming your way live from Phillip Island, and we are so excited about that. And if we don't get some 4 and 5 wide entertainment at some point, I'll be very, very disappointed. The last time we were there, they were 5 wide into turn 1. It was great. It's followed by a triple treat of Porsche Cup racing with thanks to Sprayton Cider. The champions will be crowned. Well, the elite champion will be crowned. The Open champion sitting in the booth at the moment. His name's Adam Lavis. But we'll crown a champion. Will it be Denchi winning 8 in a row? We'll find out. Thursday night, Porsche Cup racing from the island, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is dessert to complement the main course of Formula V. Friday night, the Open Wheelers head to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway onto the Brickyard 4-kilometre oval, the 2.5 miler. 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time, and it looks like they're going 200 miles there with the 80 lap up. Mountain Men Saturday night, another dose of GT1 for you, 50 laps this time around, 300 and a bit kilometres around Mount Panorama, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time for them. Then, of course, slide on into the off-season and come back and join us the last Monday of January 2024 for season 16 for this famous club, and of course term 1 of 2024, the new calendar year, unless you're in Queensland, where it'll be 1912 by that point. So that'll be lovely, and that will once we know more about the lay of the land for term 1 2024, we'll launch it here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club and tell you what we're broadcasting, when, where and why and how. Don't forget to sign up to join the club, race.tgsrci.com. If you want some Christmas stocking stuffers, ladies and gentlemen, merch.tgsrci.com or gsrcmerch.myshopify.com. The website live. Both the websites take you to the same link. Get in, get amongst it. Buy your loved one some great stocking stuffers for Christmas. Those shirts are very nice and comfortable, let me assure you. And, of course, can't go without plugging the Sunday before Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Final round, 6 hours of the Circuit de la Sarthe, the famed Le Mans venue, for the final round of the GSRC Endurance Championship with thanks to Login Systems, both the Le Mans Hypercars and the GT3s as well, and we're looking forward to that immensely. So join Sam Chapman, Liam Banks and the rest of the crew for all of that. Sunday, December 17th. Wow, what a night that was. Schultzy got the hat trick, the king of the disciplines tonight. There were 3 different cars. He won all 3 races. not without drama, but not without plenty of excitement for the highlight reel for us to enjoy as we say farewell to up-and-comers with thanks to Lobezy Racing in 2023. It might have been Schultz's night, but quite rightly, the toast, the spoils, the hats are tipped in the direction of Adam Tice, who is the champion in this caper for the fourth and final term of 2023. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to all the up-and-comers runners for the entertainment they've provided throughout the course of the night and the overall competition and camaraderie within the category throughout the course of the season. It's been terrific to watch. On behalf of Adam Lavis, the rest of the GSRC broadcast commentary and production team here, night 2 of week 10 of term 4 done and dusted. We are halfway through grand final week. Daniel Correa-Sar, Aidan Schultz back with you tomorrow night, 7:40 Eastern Daylight Time. I'll see you Thursday as we bring the curtain down on not just the term but the year on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club from the virtual Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin Road America circuit. It's goodbye.